$23.74 to the pound, $20.51 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $67.32 a barrel.
And in the traffic in Linwood, we've got an accident on the N1 South. It's right near Linwood Road. It's causing delays already. Please be on the lookout there while traveling in the south of Joburg, particularly on the N1 North towards Diepkloof. We've got an accident right after the Golden Highway. It's also causing delays.
And in your sport, Orlando Pirates scraped to a 1-0 win over newly promoted Orbit College. There was also wins for Galaxy, Stellenbosch and Richards Bay. Out of the League Cup goes West Ham, Bournemouth, Leeds and Sunderland. And at the US Open, no upsets as the top seed Sinner and Swiatek Cruz Goff needed 3 sets.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng, Johannesburg and Vereniging, both at lows of 11, peaking at 29 degrees. Pretoria 13 and 26. The top story in EWN this hour. Justice Minister Mamluko Kubayi says she will be serving the department's Director General, Dr. Mashabane, with an official letter informing him of the disciplinary action against him.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Gauteng's greatest awards at 702 and Yoko. Let's celebrate excellence, one vote at a time. Go to primediaplus.com now to vote for the finalist that makes Gauteng feel like home.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 6 o'clock, you're listening to 702 Breakfast. My name indeed is Bongani Bingwa. We're coming to you live from our Sandton studios. Welcome one, welcome all, wherever you are listening to us from. Are you in Orange Farm? Are you in Hammanskraal? Are you in Mabopane? Are you in Soshanguve? Are you in Paris or Paris? Are you in Bloemfontein or Chicago? Are you in Los Angeles? Maybe you're in Toronto, Canada, or the Philippines. It really doesn't matter. Around the world, you could be in Lusaka, Zambia, or in Kinshasa, DRC, or Lumumbashi, DRC. It doesn't matter. Wherever you are around the world, we are the station that aims to reach you. Our mission is to tell you what's going on in the world, why it's important, and how it will impact you. As always, 702 Landers are an ecosystem of informed people who've got the news, current affairs at their fingertips. But we'll have a little fun along the way. No harm in that, is there? I'm not alone in the studio, as always. I'm with Amogelang Ramela, who's doing traffic. Sawubona sis.
Yebo Puti.
How are you sis?
I'm well. Kunjani Puti?
Ukahle sis.
Right.
We've also got Muteo Hwaripe here on business and so much more.
That shirt is $1 million.
The shirt is referring to, you can see on YouTube, our live streaming. Dressed up a little earlier, even have a jacket. I'll put it on for you in a few moments to look the part.
Give us the whole look.
It's a show.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
On 702.
Let's walk the talk.
10 after 6. I don't know about you. There's a story every now and again that's in the news that you kind of hear about, you're not paying too much attention to, but it's kind of bubbling. You can see it from the corner of your left eye. This issue around the remains of the former Zambian President Edgar Lungu. What's that about? Do you know? Why is there a fight about where this man must be buried and who must bury him? I've seen visuals of family members of his weeping in court as they challenged the decision. What is that about? So I thought, hang on. I keep saying we're part of an informed community. We need to know what that's about, don't we? So we'll be doing that in the Africa Report, looking at the contested burial and what it reveals about Zambian politics and indeed politics in the region. We'll speak to an historian who lectures at the Stellenbosch University, who is specifically a Zambian historian. He'll join us in the first hour of the show. And then, how much egg is there on this administration? Do you remember on the 13th of July, the president addressed the nation? He was responding, of course, to those explosive remarks made by the KZN Police Commissioner, General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, or should I add the lieutenant bit, right? Lieutenant General, not just the general. Lieutenant General to you, Mateo, right? The president told us that what Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi said was undermining public confidence in law enforcement, and that we needed to get to the bottom of it with urgency. And he said a commission of inquiry was the quickest way to do it and the most comprehensive way to do it. Shall I remind you what the president said? 13 July 2025. Let me remind you.
The complaints that have been raised by the KZN Police Commissioner have to be investigated. Those have to be investigated, and that is why I set up the commission. And I expect that this commission, whose terms of reference are now out, will work very quickly. And we've put clear time frames. Would like a report within 3 months, and another report within another 3 months. So I'm looking at a period which is no more than a year. In fact, I would like us to get to the bottom of all this.
Right? In 6 months, I think is what he says in the rest of that sentence. That audio there, courtesy ENCA, the president speaking during that media storm. He says urgency. He says comprehensive, quick turnaround times. Yesterday, we find out they don't even have a building. They don't even have a building. How much egg is on this administration's face? Minister Mamuloko Kubai, the Justice Minister, says, well, you know, she's not responsible for the operational minutiae of how the department runs. I beg to differ. Yes, she can't tell the judges what to do and run the courts. I understand that. She provides the framework in which the Justice Department must operate. I get that. She can't even tell Shamila Batoy whom to investigate. I get that. But this? Have you heard of a special project? Muteo Khorepe, let me give you a scenario. Let me not leave it even at station manager level, right? Jonathan Proctor, the Prime Media Group CEO, tells me, Bongani Bingwa, as the host of 702 Breakfast, I'd like you to do such and such by such and such a date.
Yeah.
What do you think I do if I say yes? And I've got the capacity, I've got the will. What do you think I do?
You immediately jump on it. You get going.
Now, it may not be that I'm the one dialing the number,
Yeah.
making the phone calls,
Whoever you need to delegate to.
with oversight. Right? Do you think I'm going to go to Jonathan Proctor and say, well, you know, Muteo said, who remembered that, remember Arabile Kumede who used to work here? Well, Muteo called Arabile, and then Arabile said, well, now actually it was Mashudu Masuta who was there before Arabile, who then said, actually this thing goes all the way back to Hebana. Imagine. And yesterday, and I stand corrected here in terms of my timelines, but as far as I can recall, it was the Madlanga Commission that first issued a statement that said we can't start. The Justice Ministry, according to what's on the record, they knew 2 weeks ago there was this mess. What on earth is going on? We'll speak to the Justice Minister. She's our big interview coming up after 7 o'clock.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
Renowned academic Professor Bongani Pitana has been the chair of the National Lotteries Commission. You may remember we've spoken to him a number of times at inception when he took on the role, and he promised to be a broom that would sweep the place clean. He's now leaving, just as an operator is announced. And I know they're very big different roles. The operator runs the lotto. The National Lotteries Commission is responsible for the disbursement of the funds to those organizations that need them. But what does he know that we don't? Is there something more? Is he jumping or is he being pushed? He'll also join us after 8.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
16 after 8, after 6. Beg your pardon, 16 after 6. You're not 2 hours late. My mom.
Trying to get out of here.
No, you're not 2 hours late. It's 16 after 6. Made a mistake. Talking about the bosses, Mateo, We are in this amazing building. We've got these shiny studios. Everything is just super, super impressive here at Prime Media. But what's that one thing you wish, if they added that little thing, it would take things to the next level. Right? We're at Prime Media. Where do you work? And what's that one thing you wish they could add as a facility maybe for the employers that would take your work experience to the next level? You follow what I mean? What's that one thing you think, oh man, if only they would just... I spoke to our colleague Thabo Shola Mashao earlier, and he said, oh man, a games room. I said, we've got a gym. He said, no, not those kinds of games. Mutel?
I think having not exactly a bar, but like a social room where if we knock off and I don't want to go home yet, I can have a chit chat with you and the team can meet there. Like that sort of space. Not the canteen, but like a very social space.
We leave at 9 o'clock.
We don't
10
always,
if
we
we're
don't
lucky.
always leave at 9.
10 at a push.
Yeah, we don't always leave at night, especially if you have a long shift. You'll stay in.
You're the exception because you and Sfiso kind of run through a lot of the day
Yeah.
from time to time. But most of this team leaves here at 10, 11 at most.
Yeah, during that
Mutel
time.
wants a bath. Guy 11. It's 12 o'clock somewhere, Mutel, right? Amo.
I think, like those combi cots. It's nice that we have a swimming pool, we have a gym, but I think a nice kind of like combi cots would be so nice. Whether you want to play paddle tennis, you want to play netball, basketball, something like that would be
Give
very
me
nice.
my combi cot.
Oh, would love
I
those
want
combi-
my Monica.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
On 702. Let's walk the
All right,
talk.
as I say, our Justice Minister, Mamoloko Kubai, has graciously agreed to speak to us. And I really just want to understand from her why something that I would say the president has staked his reputation on is something they're simply not able to deliver. And are these two officials who've been suspended the mere scapegoats? That's coming up in about an hour or so's time. Muteo Kharipa, you've got a question of your own?
Yeah, I want to know this morning, what are some of those small maintenance or refurbishment jobs that you're willing to do in your own home? And where do you actually say, I'm going to pick up the phone and call a professional?
Zero.
Don't touch a thing.
Zero.
No painting.
I'll
no...
pick up papers in the yard. I'll clear out the dog poop.
That you should do.
But
if
I'm
there's a
touching
door
nothing.
to be replaced, or
I'm touching nothing.
Your daughter's bedroom to be painted, no?
No.
putting up a
No.
painting, a picture,
No.
don't do that yourself. Amu?
I would put up my own pictures. I would paint if needs be. Those are the many things I'm willing to do.
Not because I'm not willing to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I've got all the tools. I've got a drill. I've got a toolbox. I even have that thing, that ruler-like thing. What do you call it? The thing that makes sure that the pictures are even.
Yeah, it's the measuring.
There's
I
a
see
name
the
for it.
T-shape.
Waterpas.
That one. I even have a waterpas. What is it called in English? Somebody help us out. So I've got all the tools. I don't know how to use them. These are manicured fingers.
So you just bought them.
Because there is a guy who comes.
Oh, okay. No, makes
Yeah,
sense.
there is a guy who comes and
I wouldn't
does all
fit a
these things.
door and I wouldn't touch the plumbing.
So I got advice
do
very
everything
early
else.
on from a dear friend's mom who said you need a maintenance guy that you use on the regular. This is a person who comes and stress tests your home
Yeah.
every year, particularly as the summer rains are about to start. They check the gutters, they check the wiring, they check the plumbing, they check everything. And because you're using the same person, they'll know what project was outstanding, say, from the previous year that maybe the money was a little too tight to do. And they'll say, hey, remember that damp proofing thing we didn't do? Remember those gutters we didn't do? Remember the roof paint?
They know
that
your
leak?
house, basically.
They know your house.
Yeah.
You need a doctor for your house. And I have many other talents I'd like to think of, but not there.
702.
Weather.
What conditions can you expect in Gauteng on this Wednesday? Johannesburg and Vereeniging, lows of 11, both peaking at 29 degrees. Your high in Pretoria is 26, it's 19 in Cape Town. Durban, partly cloudy, maxing at 24. Gqeberha in East London, 22. And Kimberley, 30.
EWN traffic.
Right, this Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Amo, what are you seeing?
Well, we start with that accident we spoke about earlier in the Deep Kloof area on the N1 North, right near the Deep Kloof interchange. Delays from the Golden Highway. Speaking of the Golden Highway, queuing traffic between Union Avenue and the N1. This is due to faulty traffic lights as well as road wrecks taking place along the Golden Highway while traveling in the city of Tshwane. An accident seen on the N1 South near Linwood Road. It is causing delays. Please be on the lookout there. More updates coming up.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Outsurance is simply the best at beating their best. Outsurance scored 9.99 on the Hello Peter Trust Index and near 5-star rating on Google reviews, and have outperformed their personal best on the number of complaints per 1,000 claims referred to the Ombudsman. Switch to the insurer that delivers on price, service, and trust. Call 08600 60,000 or visit outsurance.co.za today. You always get something out. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
Extraordinary doesn't just happen. It's built, brick by digital brick. With every connection, every innovation, every leap forward. A cloud that scales with your vision. Security that earns your trust. AI that empowers smarter decisions. IoT that connects what truly matters. Connectivity that bridges every gap. We're not just building technology, we're building the future of South Africa. Stronger businesses, thriving communities, a nation connected, empowered, and ready to lead. Together, let's build the extraordinary. Start your journey at vodacombusiness.co.za. Vodacom Business. Further together.
Life is full of moments. Some are small.
Surprise, I got you a matcha latte.
Some are big.
Surprise, we're having twins.
For all those moments, there's the new Haval H6 SUV with a spacious interior and voice command. It's built for big moments. Get it from only 6,699 per month. Visit gwm.co.za for T's and C's and to book a test drive. GWM. Go with more. Brought to you by GWM Finance, a division of Westbank and authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
The team's on a roll today. Let me focus on payroll. Duty calls in the kitchen. That's why I have a business insurer that is agile and on the ball all the time on all things. I chose My Way Business Insurance, getting 24/7 emergency service and saving on my premiums, plus my business assist to handle my admin.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
They opened their doors before sunrise, stayed up late, showed up. Now they've made it to the finals of Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko because of you. But they're not done yet. Your vote that could make them Gauteng's greatest. Go to primediaplus.com now to cast it. Because support isn't just spoken, it's action. And your vote is a standing ovation for the corner cafe with the big dreams, the local legend who never gave up, the startup that's changing the game. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702, powered by Yoko. Let Yoko Counter fuel your business to greatness. Go to yoko.com to explore the new point of sale solution, saving hundreds of businesses time and money.
702.
Add your voice.
Have your say.
Let's walk the talk.
Good morning, Bongs. Morning, Motelho. Morning, Amu. Olani here from the Val. Hey, Bongs. You know, I work in a very beautiful building. And the kind of work that I do really would do with a coffee corner. We do have a canteen where you can just make your coffee sets. But, you know, just like you have a smoking zone kind of thing, but this one coffee corner where you know you're gonna have coffee conversations with your colleagues without the canteen concepts, but with the coffee corner concepts. That will be great. Thanks, Bongs.
Oh wow, a coffee corner, hey? Wouldn't that be lovely? What's that one addition you would like at your workplace that would take your experience to the next level?
Morning guys, Pat here. It is called Spirit Level. That's Mother Pass. spirit level.
Yeah.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa.
On 702. Let's walk the talk.
We hang our heads in shame because our colleague, Ropfiwa, was yelling at us as to why we wouldn't know it's called a spirit level. All right, things you need to know at this hour. Listen to this. We're running out of burial spaces. The Joburg Mayor, Dada Morero, has urged residents to consider other burial options as cemeteries are at near full capacity. And he's saying that burial space is rapidly running out in the city of Johannesburg. And I wonder if there are options you would consider outside of the traditional burial. I've seen things like that earth, I don't know what it's called, it's some kind of pod, right? So the body is put into this pod made of completely natural biodegradable materials. And over time, that essentially disintegrates into the ground without the toxins of the body seeping in and obviously contaminating, say, the groundwater. And you can plant things over it, or above it. So if you wanted a rose garden or you wanted a particular tree, and your body essentially gives sustenance to whatever may grow above it. Cremation is another option. Would you consider those options, or are you one of those who strictly, no, we will stick to what we know? Burial space is running out, Mateo.
I haven't changed my mind still. Still 6 feet for me. I haven't thought of any other eventuality.
You might have
although
to bury
it's not in my hands.
It might be 6 feet in, I don't know, Polokwane. Because here in Joburg, we're fast running out of space. My mother's 85, and she's agreed, or she says cremation for the most profoundly moving reason. So as I've said on the show before, I'm a bereaved parent, and my son is buried at West Park Cemetery. And my mother wants her ashes scattered over his grave so that he's not alone there. Those are things you have to consider. Are you willing to change your mind about being in a box that's going to rot anyway?
Also, those tough conversations about death.
Yep. The Australian Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, has accused Iran of orchestrating anti-Semitic arson attacks in Sydney and Melbourne and has therefore expelled Iran's ambassador. A 17-year-old boy of migrant background has died after crashing a stolen scooter during a police chase in Switzerland. Adam Gilchrist will have that story in the World View. And Kumba Iron Ore has become the first mining company in South Africa to launch specialized maternity personal protective equipment, including tailored clothing, maternity hampers, and even breastfeeding facilities. The initiative aims to improve safety and comfort and dignity for women miners who have had long-standing issues with ill-fitting male-designed gear. The mining industry just didn't think about women working underground, particularly if they're pregnant, right? And Kumba Iron Ore is dealing with that, and that's why we're asking you the question, what is that one great addition you'd like at your workplace that would take things to the next level?
702.
The newspapers.
Sisa Zulu, you're always about international news. What's grabbing your attention?
It's the Washington Post this morning, Bongani, about how one state in the U.S. is going to introduce artificial intelligence private school, which comes at $65,000 a year. What they're basically saying is that the kids will be spending just 2 hours a day using apps for their lessons, and the rest of the afternoon will be spent learning life skills in the playground, like how to ride a bike. So you're in class for 2 hours, you are being taught by an app and not a teacher, and these apps will be basically meeting you at the level where you are. So if you understand a math problem at that level, it'll meet you where you are. You don't have to get pressure to keep up to KG's understanding of the problem. And the rest of the afternoon you'll be spending riding a bike.
Oh, wow.
Learning how to cook.
Kids being kids, right? The front page of the Business Day, Justice DG facing axing. The delay of the high-profile probe leads to a pending suspension. This is, of course, the issue we'll be speaking to the Justice Minister about a little after 7 o'clock. Why detectives are guarded 24/7. The Sowetan raises another element of this. Because this probe is delayed, some of these investigators that are linked to the high-profile matters already in the courts have been receiving threats and are being followed. Now, if you can't even find a building, That's the front page of the Sowetan. Zilla, Joburg can be saved. It took 30 years to break the city, but it can be fixed one step at a time, says DA Federal Chair Helen Zilla as she eyes the seat of the mayor of Jozi. Anything else, Sfisa?
That's all.
Those are
The newspaper.
EWN Business.
Right, Mateo, let's talk business news now. You're asking about those small maintenance jobs that we're happy to do ourselves. When do we know it's time to call someone? And for me, it's always.
Hopefully he's not after destroying the geezer.
No. I know my talents. They lie elsewhere.
Well,
I'll sing to the guys.
Oh, wow. Not even make a meal, sing.
What prompts the question?
Building materials firm Cashbuild says consumers are trickling back into their stores. The company says headline earnings for the full year are expected to rise by as much as 12%. The group is crawling back to profitability after it experienced a lull post-COVID. Cashbuild reported a 4% rise in revenue in the fourth quarter with a 6% increase in transactions through its stores. The company opened 8 new stores and refurbished around 26 stores during the year, bringing the total number of stores to 318. Its South African stores accounted for about 82% of total sales, while the rest of the cash came from its operations in Botswana, Eswatini, Lesotho, Malawi, and Namibia. Transactions through its tills during the fourth quarter also increasing by 6%, so very much a cash business, and they plan to open many new stores.
All right, where's the rand?
Rand at this hour still holding on to very marginal gains, 17 Rand 64 against the US dollar, 20 Rand 50 cents against the euro, and 23 Rand 73 cents against the British pound. The price of gold at $3,379 an ounce, or platinum is at $1,338. Brent crude now more than 1% at $67.30 a barrel. More business after 7.
Straight to the news desk we go. The unions at loggerheads or not? Sfisa Zulu, good morning.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Well, COSATU says it will meet with its sister union, Nehawu, on how to deal with recent attacks on social workers. The Union Federation believes that there needs to be effective communication between the departments to address the increasing issue. It's expressed concern with the number of social workers who have been attacked in the past year and 4 months in different parts of the country. COSATU's Mohlatsi Tsubane says this adds to concerns about violence in general in South Africa.
We are concerned about the safety of police. Police are being killed on duty, off duty. We are concerned about that, as well as social workers. Therefore, what then has to happen is for organizations to sit down and come up with mechanisms, because crime is rife in our country.
Tsubane says the attack on social workers directly affects the vulnerable members of community.
When social workers come into our areas and they are attacked, that simply means it is an attack on our people at the end of the day.
Civil Secretariat of Police Service Director General Thulani Sibuyi has called on communities to continue helping officers to decrease the high crime rate in the country. Sibuyi met with community-based crime-fighting structures in Khayelitsha in Cape Town yesterday amid rising levels of violent crime. The community safety structures say the lack of resources and difficult conditions make it hard for them to work. Sibuyi has also raised concerns about the poor working relationship with the police that is hindering crime-fighting efforts in their communities.
You must be able to work with the communities, because crime happens in communities and communities know better than most of us. So if your relationship with communities is not strengthened, you will not be able to play a preventative mechanism.
A crime intelligence kennel testifying in the high-profile murder trial involving alleged underworld gang boss Jerome Donkey Boyson has been questioned about why he granted the Hawks permission to tap Boyson's phone. Boyson and 11 others are on trial in the Western Cape High Court for the murder of steroid dealer Brian Weinstein, who was shot dead in 2017. Legal teams are arguing for the court to decide whether cell phone records intercepted by Boyson's or from Boyson's phone can be used as evidence. Carlo Peterson reports.
Alleged underworld gang boss Jerome Boyson's lawyer, advocate Amanda Null, questioned the authority of a crime intelligence colonel yesterday after he granted the Hawks permission to tap Boyson's phone. Null questioned the colonel about who had access to the recordings intercepted from Boyson's phone.
Did Captain Rousseau give you any names of other officers that may or might access?
Yeah, and as far as I can recall, it just said DPCI. DPCI.
Nali is set to continue a cross-examination when the trial resumes today. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
And a Brazilian judge has declared the country's former President Jair Bolsonaro a flight risk. Bolsonaro is under house arrest while awaiting the verdict of his coup plotting trial. He faces 40 years in prison if convicted of plotting to cling on to power after losing the 2022 elections to Lula da Silva. The verdict in the case is expected early next month, and the Supreme Court Justice who is presiding over the trial has asked the police to carry out full-time surveillance of the former army captain. Moraes, who is the Supreme Court Justice, was acting on a request from the Brazilian prosecutor's office. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng today. The temperatures are at lows of 11 and 13 degrees, peaking at highs between 26 and 29.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy delays on the N1 North between the Golden Highway and the Deep Kloof interchange, and that's due to that major accident seen there while traveling on the Mike 1 North bumper-to-bumper traffic between Boysons Road and Carr Street.
The top story this hour, unions say they will meet to discuss how to deal with recent attacks on social workers.
702 delivers
on the matters that matter to you.
Hi, this is Julia De Bruin from Sandton. I like 702 because it's even-handed. Everybody and anybody can phone in, express their opinion, and everybody is treated with respect. So you get a good balanced view of everything, lots of information, lots of interesting things that you would never have otherwise known about. You can find out via 702. Whether you start listening at 5 a.m. if you can't sleep, or whether you're still awake at night at 10 to 12 with all this.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
so we can deliver more on what matters to you.
702 listens.
Let's walk the talk.
It's that time of the year. Sneezing, itchy, watery eyes, blocked noses and coughs. It's time to live, work, play and sleep allergy-free. For trusted relief for you and your family this allergy season, ask your pharmacist for the Adcock Ingram OTC Allergy Survival Pack. With products like Allergex Non-Drowsy, Cetacid, Levogex and more, we have you covered. Remember, Adcock Ingram OTC. And visit beprepared365.co.za.
So you thought you were building a business? In this economy? Good luck. But day by day, somehow it grew. You became payroll, procurement, PR, and pressure valve. You kept going when the freezer didn't freeze, the bucket didn't budge, and the bank balance barely blinked. What's that saying again? What doesn't kill your business makes it stronger? Or at least it should be that. So you thought you were building a business. You weren't. It was building you. Because this isn't just what you do anymore. It's who you are. And you don't trust just anybody to protect it. Chat to your broker about Old Mutual Insure Business Insurance. Protect what built you. Old Mutual Insure Limited is a licensed FSP and non-life insurer.
Dis-Chem's Beauty Fair is here. It's time to treat yourself at your fabulous fragrance destination. Big date coming up? Find a fragrance that makes it unforgettable. Crushing it in the boardroom. Make an impression before you even speak. From fresh and floral to bold and unforgettable, get your perfect fragrance match at Dis-Chem's Beauty Fair. Don't miss out. Deals end 14 September.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
Well, a report in Business Live this week, SARS is now actively trying to get tax that is due to it from people who are investing in cryptocurrencies and sending the money overseas.
The FSCA have declared it as a monetary instrument. All of these exchanges have to register under the FIC Act, which means that they are now financial institutions and treated as such, and they have to do these reportings either to the regulator or at least have to comply.
Karel Diache is the CEO of Sixpence.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show, Stephen Curtis, is brought to you by APSA CIB, proud sponsor of the SARA Rail Conference 2025. Your story matters. APSA is a registered FSP.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Hey, Bongs and the team. I work for a church, and sometimes we have back-to-back church services, like 3 to 4 on a Sunday. It would be nice to have a room with a bed where someone can take a nap in between.
Morning, Bongani. Morning, team. I was very fortunate. I think in one of my first jobs, back in the day, I used to work for an ad agency. Worked for an ad agency, and we literally had a chef. We had a chef, so we get to work and breakfast sorted by the chef, lunch sorted by the chef. And Fridays, we looked forward to those because Friday meant drinks from around 12 p.m. TK from Pretoria.
Good morning, Bongani and the team. This is Njabulo from Davidton. So the one corner I wish my workplace had would be a napping corner, so I can sleep or rest during the day. I think that would make a great difference towards my productivity at work. So yeah, napping corner for me. Woohoo!
What that one thing? We're talking about that one thing that would make your workplace just rise to the next level. So we've heard all kinds of suggestions. A coffee corner, you've heard these voice notes. A bar, I'm not so sure about that, not least because our team leaves work here latest 11 o'clock in the morning. So Mutao's idea, I don't know if it's a good one. Cindy Paluta, good morning. What's that one addition you think?
Firstly, I think a bar's the worst
Yes,
idea in the workplace
actually.
ever.
Yes.
And I think maybe, wouldn't it be nice if once or twice a week, or once a week actually, you had people come around, like they do in sushi restaurants, and they massage your back.
Now that would
Imagine
be-
if after work they're like, okay, breakfast
Oh no,
tea.
even during the show as
It
I'm
was
talking.
so stressful. Patricia DeLille was fighting with Bongani. You can just come in after
And
that
just massage his
stressful interview,
shoulders.
Bongani, and just let somebody just for 15 minutes, or even just like a chiropractor, just 15 minutes done once a week. Oh,
That's the best one so far. Are the bosses listening?
EWN Sport.
Gosh, so yesterday you told us we're playing this new side that's just been promoted, and I wanted to be arrogant about what a slam dunk it was. And there was a quiet voice in my head that said, just hold your horses.
Yeah.
Just hold your horses. And as it turned out, I mean, the result was good for us, but still, come on.
Yeah. So if you missed it last night, Orlando Pirates beating the newly promoted Orbit College 1-0. And I think the little voice in your head doesn't come from anywhere other than years of listening to me taunt you about being too excited.
It comes from being worried about this season.
It comes from a place of being a sports fan of teams who don't consistently perform.
Perhaps.
So you always have that thing in the back of your head that oh gosh, it might all go wrong, which is always possible. So yeah, Pirates fans not too excited this morning because their team scraped that 1-0 win. Simo with the only goal of the game in the second half. Coach Abdeslam Wadu admits they obviously did not play according to the game plan.
We have planned that game to start very high pressure in the opponent in order to score early. Unfortunately, the plan was expected. We've been dominated. I think the whole first half we have lost many balls. We didn't have the control of the ball in that first half because the opponent was good.
Part of how you dominate in football is controlling the ball, isn't it?
Apparently so. Similarly, lost 2-0 to TS Galaxy. Stellenbosch beating Amazulu 1-0. Polokwane goalless with Durban City. And Chippa losing to Richards Bay tonight. It's a big one. I want to hear from the Kaizer Chiefs fans how they're feeling. Unbeaten this season, and they're hosting Mamelodi Sundowns at the FNB Stadium.
Oh,
That's
going to be a
gonna
cracker.
good one.
Yeah.
Also tonight, top of the table, Sekone host Amazulu, Arrows play Magesi. In the League Cup results, selected results, West Ham are out. They lost to Wolves 3-2. Brentford beat Bournemouth 2-0. Leeds was knocked out by Sheffield Wednesday. Sunderland knocked out by third-tier side Huddersfield Town, both on penalties. At the US Open tennis, the second seed Triante got a straight sets win on her opening match, while the third seed Coco Gauff had to fight through 3 sets to beat Tom Leonovic 6-4, 7-6, 6-4, 6-7, and 7-5 to go through to the second round.
A tough match. I had chances for it to be straight sets, but Isla was tough. I felt like she was getting so many balls back, and I was trying to push her back, and she was standing on top of the baseline. But yeah, it wasn't the best, but I'm happy to get through to the next round.
And on the men's side, the defending champion Yannick Sinner needed an hour and a half to cruise through along with Musetti and De Minaur. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
For those 2 a.m. checkouts or the late night shifts, for the last minute orders and the beginning of the month rush, for the 9 to 5 that becomes a 5 to 9. You don't clock out, and neither should your payments. Pay fast by network, always open for the dreamers, the doers, for you. From e-commerce to in-store payments and business funding, we have you covered. Sign up today at payfast.io.
Hollywood Bet Aziz Shege. Beyond the Game is back for the new soccer season. Up for grabs is a share of 4 million rand in prizes, including the Toyota Rumion, Corolla Cross, Hilux 2.4 GD6 DC, and a Starlet Cross. To qualify, bet 10 rand or more on any soccer fixture or fixtures for your chance to score big. Bet now. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp HELP to 076 675 0710.
Life has its own rhythm, but muscle and joint pain may upset the beat.
Norflex Gel.
Trust Norflex Gel's triple action formula to target muscle pain, reduce inflammation, and help numb the affected area.
Norflex Gel.
So, get your beat back and reclaim the rhythm of life.
Norflex Gel.
Beat the pain with Norflex Gel and higher strength Norflex Gel Fort. For more information, speak to your healthcare professional.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
My name is Shiloh. I go to Law School Commando and I'm in grade 7. I'm 13 years old. When I grow up, I want to become a soccer player. And I'm very happy to play with the Whiz Quiz with you all today. Thank you.
We're excited to play with you too. Can you walk away with 10,000 Rand?
EWN Traffic.
This Eyewitness News Traffic brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Delays on the N1 North. Amo?
Yes, Bongani, this is due to an accident right near the Deep Kloof interchange. It's causing delays as you approach that turnoff coming out of the Golden Highway. While traveling in Boksburg, we still have got those delays on the N17 West between Carnival City and Rondebold Road due to roadworks. Please be on the lookout there and drive with care. More updates coming up shortly.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car with a shift worker making his way home and daydreaming about his next career move, his next chapter. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic, it's a possible light bulb moment that could change someone's life. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
Sir, ma'am, may I take your order?
Yeah, let me get the New York cut, medium rare, truffle fries on the side, and the lady'll have the salmon. Grilled, not poached. 2 dirty martinis. Real dirty.
Leafy, what's with the voice?
Oh, I came over all Tony Soprano.
Get into character on a city break with Premier Hotels and Resorts. Stay Friday and Saturday and get Sunday night for free. Book now at premierhotels.co.za.
Do you know what's hiding behind colorful packaging of unhealthy food? Big food companies target children with unhealthy packaged foods that hide high levels of sugar, salt, and fat, which could lead to heart disease, diabetes, and hypertension. But the truth is hidden from consumers. Front-of-package warning labels are a proven solution to help consumers make informed decisions. The government must act now. We have the right to know what's in our food. Demand front-of-package warning labels. Sign the petition on heala.org, HEALA.org, by 30 September.
The Checkers Hyper Price Drop is here. Save up to 40% on deals like Steakhouse Classic man-sized T-bone steak for 140 Rand per kilo. Save 20%. Coca-Cola Fanta Sprite or Stony 300ml bottles, any 24-pack for 139 Rand. Save 50 Rand. And Cadbury Assorted Mini Chocolate Bags, any 7 for only 299 Rand. Save 191 Rand. Deals valid until this Sunday. Only at Checkers Hyper.
Coming up in the next hour, what's the question? And it's brought to you by Outsurance. Up to 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. So send us an answer based on anything you heard on the show, and for that you win 1,000 Rand. WhatsApp us your name and the answer to 072 702 1702. Then later, someone else will ask a question to get your answer to win 2,000 Rand. Now remember, you always stand a better chance of being selected if you have SMS'd out to Outsurance and got yourself a quote. So do it now. SMS out to 45142 and you could save on your car insurance.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Let's give away some money now, shall we? We're playing with 13-year-old Sheila, who goes to Large School Commando, wants to be a footballer later in life. Can you score 10 goals, Sheila? Are you ready to play?
Yes, I'm ready.
Yes, I'm ready is the confident answer. KG, start the clock. Spell the word publish.
Published.
No, it's just publish, but I'll give it to you. Does the word drowsy mean energetic or sleepy?
Sleepy.
Correct. What is 50 times 3?
150.
Correct. True or false? Spain is Portugal's only neighboring country.
False.
It's true. Which city is the capital of Ghana?
Pass.
Accra. Is a dassie a type of reptile or mammal?
Mammal.
Correct. How many years are there between 2 Winter Olympic Games?
3.
4 years. In movies, which famous jungle character falls in love with Jane?
Pass.
Tarzan. True or false? A scientist who studies rocks is called a biologist.
False.
Correct. On which continent is the country North Korea?
Asia.
Asia is indeed the correct answer. Not a bad round. Not a bad round. You walk away with 600 Rand, 6 correct answers. Remember, it's $100 for each correct answer. Get all 10 right. You win 10,000 Rand. You must be aged 10 to 13 to play. Send us WhatsApp voice notes now if you think you can take up the challenge of the Whiz Quiz. 072 702 1702. We could be calling you.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz
On 702.
702.
The Africa Report.
So the Africa Report aims to put a spotlight on stories that you need to know from the rest of the continent. Every now and again, we'll also include ourselves because we are part of this continent. Have you ever heard somebody say, have you been to Africa? One of the stories I've been watching over a number of weeks now, months even, is the saga around the former Zambian President Edgar Lungu, who died on the 5th of June whilst receiving medical attention here in South Africa. Now, 3 months later, his body is still here in Johannesburg, and there's this bitter dispute between his family and President Hakainde Hichilema's government over what is to be done with his remains. It's a story that just beggars belief, isn't it? What is it all about? We've invited an historian to come and explain all of this to us. Dr. Sishuwa Sishuwa is a Zambian historian and senior lecturer at the Department of History at Stellenbosch University. Thank you so much for your time and welcome to 702 Breakfast.
Thank you so much for having me, Bongani, and good morning, listeners.
As succinctly as you can, what is this dispute about?
Well, it's about who should attend the burial and the funeral of the former president. The family believes that I've stated that the former president left them clear instruction that he didn't want his successor, Hakainde Hichilema, to attend his funeral in the event that he died because of how ill-treated he felt the Zambian government had dealt with him. The Zambian government, on the other side, insists that the president should preside over a state funeral and that it's as a matter of protocol, the state should be allowed to conduct the funeral because that's what the state has done in instances of other former leaders who have died. And it's really about that dispute on either side trying to assert what they think is their right that has brought us here. And in furtherance of their interest, they have gone to court to push for that outcome.
Gosh, it's that classic balance between the wishes of the deceased, right, and those who remain. And, I mean, for ordinary Africans everywhere on the continent, funerals aren't just private affairs. Certainly for countries, there can be moments of national symbolism. Where do you strike the balance?
It's very difficult because on the one hand, you see in the African culture, when somebody dies, the body belongs to the family or the next of kin. They're the ones who determine what should happen to their remains, for example. And in this case, the family is correct in asserting their right to say, if we don't want Bongani to be present at our funeral, it's unreasonable for you to insist that you must be present. On the other hand, you have the Zambian state that says, hey, we want to give this man a dignified burial because he wasn't just an ordinary citizen. He was a former head of state and is entitled to all sorts of state honors that the government can extend to him. Of course, there are also beliefs around the family to say we don't want this man to be present essentially because they believe that maybe the president wants his body for occult purposes. For example, that's a statement made by the eldest sister to the late president. So you can understand the suspicion from the family on the basis of that side. I don't know how accurate that is, but that's their belief. And they insisted by the government to say the president should be there only feeds those kind of beliefs.
So it's not even just that the state wants to give him a state-level type funeral. The current president insists on attending.
That's correct. I mean, if he had stepped aside after the former president died, if he had committed publicly to say, fine, you don't want me present, I'll designate the vice president, for example, somebody else to preside over the funeral, I think that Lungu would have long been buried in Osaka. It was really the failure by the president to meet that wish on the part of the family to say, can you please stay away, that forced the family to consider burying him in South Africa. And then the government moved at the 11th hour to block the funeral, which was already underway, by taking a court action that would give them the result they want, which is to get the body from the family and go and bury it in Osaka.
Where is the standoff legally now?
Well, right now it is back in the High Court. The Pretoria High Court had made a ruling in favor of the Zambian state some time back, and then the family filed an application, a direct appeal, for direct appeal to the Constitutional Court. Yesterday, the Constitutional Court dismissed that application to hear the matter directly without going through the normal processes of passing through the Supreme Court of Appeal. And you have to understand the Concord reasoning here. You know, in recent times, what you have seen are litigants skipping processes where if you lose a case in the High Court, rather than going through the Supreme Court, you rush directly to the Constitutional Court. And therefore, the Concord is clogged with so many matters that could have been resolved at the lower courts, for example, if those platforms had been utilized. So the court decided yesterday, can you go back to the High Court, make your case before the High Court judges that you want to appeal this case, and if they grant you that, you can go to the Supreme Court of Appeal and the case will still end up before us if you're unsatisfied. So it remains in court, but the two parties, the government has sent a team also to continue the negotiation to see if this matter can be resolved outside the court process.
What has this done for President Hichilema's standing within Zambia?
I think that it has deepened polarization because many Zambians feel, look, if you simply agree to a family, whether it's unreasonable, whether their demands are unreasonable or not is not the issue. The issue is that they feel that they're uncomfortable with you presiding over the funeral. For the sake of national unity, for example, he could have simply stepped aside if he has no personal interest in the funeral. So it was really that leadership style of refusing to recognize how this divisive moment can be a moment of unity by simply saying, listen, I understand these people are grieving, they want to put their loved ones to rest, and I'm going to step aside. And Zambians have failed to understand why the president has failed to do that. But there are also other Zambians who support his position that, look, he's our head of state, and the head of state should have the duty to preside over national events of this kind, especially if the funeral attracts other heads of state from the region and beyond, because you want your president to be presented there. So that polarization has continued even in death. And you have to understand that the relationship between Lungu and Hichilema was very, very bad even when the President Hichilema was in opposition, and after Lungu himself lost power to Hichilema. So that the deputy divisions you see is simply a continuation of the nature of the relationship the two had in life.
I think you've explained it to us. We're up to speed with that and we understand it fully. Thank you so much for your time. Dr. Sishuwa Sishuwa, who is a Zambian historian and a senior lecturer at the department, a senior lecturer at Stellenbosch University. I think we've got the gist of that. And if anything, it sounds like former President Edgar Lungu was correct about the incumbent, wasn't he?
7:02.
Coming up, the big interview.
Urgent and comprehensive. Those were the words the president used when he told us the Madlanga Commission would get to the bottom of the allegations of KZN Police Chief Lieutenant General Ntandla Mkhwanazi. It's been delayed. How much egg is on the face of this government? The Justice Minister is up next.
This is EWN.
Thabo Bester wants to block a Netflix documentary about his crimes, and the ANC says Naledi Pandor won't be punished for her recent remarks. Good morning, I'm Sishuwa Sishuwa. Convicted killer and rapist Thabo Bester says a pending Netflix production covering him and his accomplice Dr. Nandi Phamagudumana is character assassination under the guise of a documentary. He's approaching the High Court to urgently interdict the documentary titled Beauty and the Bester. He claims the production makes serious unfounded and defamatory submissions against him. The saga involving Bester and his lover Magudumana gripped the nation in 2023 after they were arrested in Tanzania following his brazen escape from the Mangaung prison. Khumuzo Modise reports.
Beauty and the Bester, a Netflix production covering the events surrounding Thabo Bester and Nandi Phamagudumana, is set to be aired on the 12th of September. But Bester has rushed to court on an urgent basis to stop the screening, saying he strongly disputes the accuracy, fairness and legitimacy of the content. Bester's lawyers say he was not afforded an opportunity to respond to the allegations against him. They've accused the producers of the documentary of gross abuse of media freedom. It's unclear when the matter will be heard, but Bester has approached the court on an urgent basis. Khomzo Modise, Eyewitness News.
The ANC says it sees no need to reprimand its stalwart Naledi Pandor after she made public comments that the party has lost its glory and public faith. Pandor made these comments at the weekend during an event commemorating the life of former ANC Women's League President Gertrude Shope. ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula says the party is not above criticism from its own members. Tabiso Goba reports.
And we have lost our glory. Let's not pretend about it. We have lost it. The people are looking at us with disdain. The people are looking at us with horror and shame.
Those were the scathing remarks made by ANC stalwart Naledi Pandor on the current state of the party. ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula says the media has distorted her message. Mbalula says Pandor's comments speak to the party's renewal agenda.
I read in the newspapers, they say, no, Naledi must be disciplined. For what? Because she's saying the right things. That the leadership of the ANC and its veterans are expected to say and to remind us all the time that these things have got to happen. Not the leadership that says that you are failing.
Mbalula says her comments are different to that of ANC NEC members Senzo Mchunu and Malusi Gigaba, who openly criticized the ANC's adopted policies like going into coalition with the DA. Tabiso Goba, Eyewitness News.
The Electoral Commission says there's no evidence suggesting that electronic voting would be the detriment of voters in rural areas and communities struggling with connectivity. The Commission wants to reintroduce or introduce at least e-voting in future elections, which it believes would make voting much easier. Public consultations are currently being held across the country, asking voters whether they would like to vote electronically. IEC officials updated the nation about these issues during a media briefing in Centurion yesterday. Alfara Mushwana reports.
While the IEC's public consultations on electronic voting are still ongoing, officials say voters have so far expressed mixed views on whether e-voting should be introduced. The EFF argues that the IEC is not ready for a digital voting system, warning it could compromise both easy access to voting and the integrity of the electoral process. However, IEC Deputy Chief Electoral Officer Masero Shiburi says there is currently no evidence to suggest this would happen.
We do not have evidence to suggest that
persons who are in rural settings are more or less inclined to go for e-voting than people in urban centers.
He says if approved, electronic voting will take place in controlled environments rather than from the comfort of the voter's home. Alpha Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Centurion.
And Union Nihau wants harsh sanctions against some lobby groups and political parties for fueling US President Donald Trump's disinformation campaign against South Africa. This follows several meetings in Washington by AfriForum and Solidarity earlier this year, where they are accused of leading calls for Trump's administration to punish South Africa for its race laws, the Expropriation Acts, and the country's foreign policy. The DA and FF Plus are some of the political parties that met with Washington officials in what has caused a massive upset in the country. This was raised at Nihau's first day of its international seminar and bargaining conference on the East Rand yesterday. Nihau President Mike Shingange says organizations that talk down on South Africa cannot be let off the hook.
We cannot allow our country to be sanctioned for manufactured lies of false white genocide and fictitious persecution of Afrikaners. That today, what in the past will have been considered to be treasonous, that you go out of your own country and decampaign your country in the foreign land and call for the sanctions in your own country has not been punished as a crime against the democratic state is amazing for our part.
Gold is trading at $3,382.42 an ounce. The rand is at 17.64 to the dollar, 23.74 to the pound, 20.51 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $67.32 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got some delays reported in the Dobsonville area, Elias Mutwaledi Road, as well as Jonas Road. This is due to a protest that's taking place right near the Dobsonville police station at this particular moment. So if you're traveling around the area, please try to avoid. Well, on the N1 North in the Deep Kloof area, we've got that accident near the Deep Kloof interchange, delays from the Golden Highway.
And in your sport, Orlando Pirates fans expected more from their team despite a 1-0 win over Orbit College last night. Tonight, an unbeaten Kaizer Chiefs host Sundowns at 7:30 at NB Stadium. And at the US Open, no upsets as the top seed Sinner and Swiatek cruised through. Coco Gauff needed 3 sets to advance.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng, Johannesburg and Vereniging, both at lows of 11, peaking at 29 degrees. Pretoria, 13 and 26. The top story in EWN this hour, convicted killer and rapist Thabo Bester says a pending Netflix production covering him and his accomplice, Dr. Nandipha Makudumana, is character assassination under the guise of a documentary.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko. Your vote is not just a click. It's a thank you, a nod, a way of saying we see you. Vote for your favorite local business now on primemediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
9 after 7, so much on the go, so much in the news cycle at the moment. If you've got any views on all the stories we raise on the show, send us a WhatsApp voice note to 072-702-1702. You can, of course, call us directly to comment on 011-883-0702. Is there part of you that's got Thabo Bester and Nandipha Makudumana fatigue? Firstly, what is this new documentary going to tell us that we don't already know? It was just lock that cell, man. You know? Just lock that cell. I mean, that's not quite how human rights work, I understand, but they're just irritating. They're like little mosquitoes, always buzzing and buzzing. Right? He's a murderer and a rapist. Go away, for goodness sake, and stay gone.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Yesterday, we reflected on the comments made at the weekend by the former DIRCO minister, well, many other portfolios, I suppose, Dr. Naledi Pandor, talking about the ANC being regarded with disdain and horror. And as you might expect, the Secretary General of the ANC, Fikile Mbalula, has responded to some of those. You remember, they already wanted to censure former Minister Malusi Gigaba. Yes, he, who is now a voice of morality within the ANC. That's how things are low. And the suspended Police Minister, Senzo Mchunu. And I wondered yesterday, quite aloud, would Naledi Pandor get the same kind of treatment by the ANC? Have a listen to Mbalula addressing the media yesterday.
Media was quick to counterpose and distort and use AI about what Mama Naledi was saying when he was talking about leaders and what is expected of leaders, and that leaders must provide answers and then they must lead from the front. And then they said Ramaphosa. And whereas he was challenging the entire leadership of the ANC and say, we are supposed to provide answers to the people. Isn't it what is expected of us? Starting from President Ramaphosa downwards. President Ramaphosa can't provide answers alone. He provides leadership from the answers that are given by the collective he leads with. And if President Ramaphosa come across as not giving answers, it's a reflection on our collective as a leadership.
Don't you love it when politicians try and sidestep the issue, right, and offer you a red herring? Or is that a straw man argument? I want to remind you of what former President Thabo Mbeki said just about a year ago. He was in the Free State engaging the provincial structures of the party there. And I wonder how different what he had to say then is from what we are hearing increasingly from other ANC leaders at the moment.
Gwede Mantashe was complaining, I think it was local government elections or maybe the national, that when he goes around door to door, he's had many experiences where people say, Afiki la Masahela. So this is a response of the population. So the renewal of the ANC becomes critically important in terms of even that. So when the ANC, the communities who have to elect us in 2 years' time, they must see that this ANC has changed. It has renewed itself. We know that in our community, in our ward, there were many wrong people who were members of the ANC. But fortunately, they've removed them. You regain the confidence of the people. That I'm saying that renewal is a critically important part of that regaining of the confidence of the people.
Right? The president there, former president, saying that even someone as senior as Gwede Mantashe gets greeted with, oh, here come the thieves, when he goes door-to-door campaigning. That's how the ANC is seen. Instead of focusing on how the media responds and who said it, I wonder when the party will wake up to the reality of how it is seen by the public.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
Yesterday, by the way, we featured a story about Limpopo villagers, a particular village in Limpopo that has more centenarians than anywhere else in the country. If you want to read more about it, there's a fantastic News 24 piece called The Secret, the Limpopo villagers who are living past 100. It was written by Bernadette Wicks, whom you may remember at a point being with the EWN team, and it's got video and images. And I just thought if you want to see exactly how they are living, that's where you can go to. So that's where we got the story from News 24. The Secret, the Limpopo villagers who are living past 100. In Durban, 19 children aged 4 to 12 were injured when a minibus taxi crashed into a wall in Savannah Park, south of Durban. Paramedics treated children on site before transporting them to various sites. France is returning the skull of King Tura, killed during a colonial era war in Madagascar nearly 130 years later. And can you imagine being abused? That would be bad enough. Imagine those images and that footage being plastered all over social media for posterity. A U.S. child abuse survivor, Zora, is now begging Elon Musk to remove links to images of her abuse being traded on the platform X. Despite X claiming zero tolerance, traders continue to run multiple accounts selling such content. Goodness me.
7:02. Up next.
The big interview.
EWN
traffic.
This Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. There are delays in the capital, Amo.
Yes, they are indeed, Bongani, along the R80 East Mabopane Highway. This is just as you approach Eskiampahlele Drive. Well, speaking of Eskiampahlele, more delays all the way towards the Wonderbrom Junction. So please be on the lookout there. And traveling on the N1 South, remember earlier I spoke about that accident near Linwood Road and it's causing delays. Bongani, on our YouTube channel, we've had people saying or telling us about that protest in
Dobsonville.
In Dobsonville,
Yeah.
yes. And I can see delays along Elias Motsoaledi Road, Jonas Morai Street, as well as Main Street. So this is just people trying to navigate their trips this morning. If you're traveling around the area, please be on the lookout and use alternative routes. More updates coming up.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Clever late excuse number 79. You had to stop and help a turtle cross the road. Fortunately, with the Outsurance pointsman on the roads, you no longer have to come up with creative excuses for being late. The Outsurance pointsman easing traffic congestion, getting you there quickly and safely since 2005. Outsurance really means it when they say you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, show them some love online using hashtag pointsmanlove. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
17 minutes after 7 o'clock, when the president announced a response to the explosive allegations that were made by the KZN Police Chief, Lieutenant General Madlanga Commission, he said there would be a commission of inquiry. It would be urgent, it would be comprehensive, and it would get to the bottom of the allegations about the troubling reports we're hearing when it comes to law enforcement. The president said we cannot let these allegations go unanswered. We need to restore the public's confidence in law enforcement. In a sense, you could argue he staked his reputation as a leader on that process and its outcome. Yesterday, we were told it's been delayed. The Justice Minister is with us now to explain why. As always, a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for your time.
Good morning, Bongani, and your listeners. Thank you very much for hosting us.
This delay, surely, Minister, even with the most sympathetic of supporters, it surely puts egg all over the face of this administration.
Look, Bongani, yes, it's something that is undesirable. Shouldn't have happened that we delayed the first, but we're hoping that we can still cover up. All that was required, I can confirm that has been confirmed yesterday and communicated to the Commission. By last week, Friday, we had agreed that we'll ensure that we turn around the situation into ensuring that Tuesday happens, we can report, and we have. But not only have we only managed to intervene and turn the situation around, there's been consequence management.
I understand all of that, but Minister, what was your role in the execution of this? Because from my reading of it, this wasn't the ordinary business of your department. This was, shall we call it, a special project. The President addressed the nation. He says these are urgent and pressing matters. We will give it our fullest attention. As the minister in charge of this, what was your role?
My role from the beginning was, firstly, we met with the commissions, both of the commission. We identify what needs to be done, introduce the team that was going to support the commission in terms of making sure that what is required by the commission is reported but is procured. Met with them regularly, almost every week, twice, sometimes a week. I was given a report that everything is on track, and the difficulty here, Bongani, is procurement. So when you are to procure, because the delay is caused by ICT procurement, when you are to procure, you only know that, okay, the commission has made this following needs, the team has got those needs, they've got a project plan in place, they will be able to deliver by this date. And you monitor based on that progress. So when the delay was started in one of the meetings where I picked up that there's something not going right, I asked what has happened. Then we intervened, called the Minister of Communications to request intervention in terms of, because the law requires that we procure ICT services through SITA. We got the deviation through that process in terms of trying to fast track the process. We were able to do that. We asked the person, because he had already told us that the DGICT had committed to the commission that the procurement will start on the 11th. It didn't start. On the 15th, we asked for progress report. I'm explaining that, Bongani.
Okay.
On the 15th, then we asked for progress report, because you can't go and do procurement as the minister. When you are told it's going to be done on the 11th, you can only come back and pick up where the problem is. So we came back, we picked up that it has not been done. That's when he raised the issue of the deviation. And we asked, but you should have known that these are the things that you needed in place and communicate up front. But you didn't even need deviation if you did in front. But we had to do the deviation because we were catching up. And that was done. The procurement process started. It delayed in terms of sitting of the spec committee. Minister nor the commission can sit on the spec committee. Only officials of the department can sit on the spec committee. We had to insist that they sit. It was a Wednesday. I told them by Thursday afternoon, I need a report that says all the committees have sat. They've processed what was needed to be done. That was the Thursday that we were given the report that all those were sitting and they had to go. Then the report from the CFO comes back and says, I've got all that I need to do from an SEM procurement process point of view. This is what the law says to me as the CFO. I can only do it within this particular days. I went back to the commission to say, this is what the CFO is saying. What is the impact? Can you look at the impact of this? And then we work around how we are going to be able to meet the deadline of the 1st of you starting the hearing. It was on Friday when they came back to me to say, Minister, in light of this, we will not be able to start. The lead investigators are explaining that they need a secure platform to be able, which is procured through ICT, which will need to be ready and up and running by Wednesday. When we asked the CFO, that's when he was telling us, no, Minister, the fastest I can do is Tuesday. So Minister, there has been oversight from my side, Bongani, in terms of being able to check, request the reports, and that's why I can hold the official accountable, because this is information that was not disclosed up front so that we can mitigate.
Minister, if you'll allow me, again, it points to a broader picture, maybe not all of it on your shoulders, to be fair to you, but it points to a broader picture of incompetence and failure within the system. I mean, the issues with CETA and the ICT competence it lacks are well known. I would imagine, because of the urgency the president spoke about, because of the timelines he mentioned, that would have been one of the first questions as to whether we've got enough capacity within the state to be able to deliver on this. I mean, to me, that feels like one of the first questions that ought to have been asked. And I must put to you what the Business Day says, that delegation without oversight is abdication.
No. Delegation with oversight, there's no time where you can say there's not been an oversight. But there's not, you know, when they say you must have your hands on but not hands in. Because once as a minister, you get involved in procurement, you go and get your hands in. That's what PFMA does not allow.
No.
PFMA has prescription, Bongani, has prescription on what can be done in terms of process. You can never, as a minister, go and sit in a big adjudication committee and say, then I'm doing oversight.
Let me interrupt you, because I'm going to ask to interrupt you, because that's not what I'm saying. I understand you can't get into the minutiae of the details in terms of sitting in meetings, deciding who gets appointed to do what. I fully get that. What I'm saying to you is, even from my chair as a complete outsider, the issues around CETA and its capacity are well known. One of the first questions that should have been asked.
You are not listening to me. This procurement was not done through CETA.
There was a deviation because CETA couldn't do it.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. That should have been established from the beginning. You should surely have known they wouldn't.
Bongani, you are not listening.
Okay, let me listen.
And it will assist if you can also, because there's processes.
Yeah.
You see, one of the problem we get into trouble as well is violation of the rules. Because after this commission, when the AG comes and says minister and her team has violated PFMA, and therefore they have an audit issue, you are going to ask me again, why did you do it? So the issue here is that there's process that you must do. The team, I expected them to do the process. They did the process, and that's why we are holding the person accountable. The time frames that he needed to work around were not normal time frames. he should have understood that they must be shortened. So when you sit and look as an oversight person, and I speak this because I've been a Minister of Communication, I've been a chair of ICT, I understand the challenges of ICT. And that's why we prefer that they shouldn't go to SETA, but go outside to the market and get a procurement. And that's why it's not the issue that we were not having an oversight and knowing the weaknesses in SETA. We already said to them, get a deviation from SETA. I mean, the first week the commission was announced, I signed a letter of deviation to Minister of Finance, advised by the Director General, only to find that that letter was wrong, shouldn't have been. And that's why there's consequence management. And when a minister you get into portfolio, you don't arrive and say, I don't like you, I want you, I'm going to fire you. You give people an opportunity to do the work and hold them accountable. And when they fail to do that work, it's only when that you act. Because you can't assume that people are going to mess up.
Minister, can we both agree this must be embarrassing for the president? It must be. I have written a report to the president on Friday to explain what happened. We thought that we could save the situation. Bongani, where I'm sitting, we've committed to the commission. We've given them all the procurement that they need as we speak. Committed to Tuesday, it's been done. The ICT companies have been appointed. The team met with the commission last night in terms of work that needs to be done. And we have agreed that the turnaround in terms of this, where I'm sitting, if the team and the commission can agree, which I can't interfere. But I'm hoping that the delay is not more than a week or 2 weeks. Do we have a venue?
Because the venue has long been procured. The venue has been, everything else, Bongani, is done. We've appointed long time ago all the investigators, all the legal teams. They've been working, they've been interviewing the witnesses already. That work has been started. The staff of the commission have been done. The cars, the protection of the commission has been done. Everything else has been sorted, including the processes of us starting to, we would have finalized by Monday. The commission was not available to finalize the issue of witness protection. I'm hoping that we can meet tomorrow with the commission and finalize. Everything else as I speak today is done.
Minister, thank you for your time and thank you for always being available to answer those questions. Appreciate your time. Mamuloko Kubai there is the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development.
10 years ago, Aluma Capital set out with one goal: to help people like you build a legacy for tomorrow. Through personalized strategies and unwavering dedication, we've been instrumental in helping our clients achieve their financial dreams, whether it's securing retirement, growing wealth, or planning for the unexpected. For a decade, we've been trusted to guide your financial journey with expertise and care. Visit aluma.co.za today. Aluma Capital is a licensed FSP. T's and C's apply.
When captains of industry gather to discover how AI and other exponential technologies can future-proof their organizations, they'll find out what matters most at the Stellenbosch Institute C Leader Summit. Global thought leader Dr. Vivian Ming will challenge you on what it means to lead in an automated world by unlocking the full power of human intelligence in the age of AI. Join her and other thought leaders. Visit sbinstitute.co.za to book your seat at the Stellenbosch Institute C Leader Summit, 2nd October at the Forum in Bryanston. Stellenbosch Business Institute, beyond a business school.
FlySafair is making it even easier to reach your Eastern Cape favorites. That's right, we'll soon be flying from Lanseria Airport to both East London and PE, a more convenient option for those staying in the north of Joburg. Tickets are on sale now from just 770 Rand and flights start from 1st November, just in time for the holidays. Whether it's for work or play, plan your Eastern Cape escape now from Lanseria. FlySafair, for the love of flying. T's and C's apply.
Welcome to the brand new days. Sail the world with Norwegian Cruise Line, with more to see, more to do, and more to enjoy. Plus, upgrade your holiday with NCL's More at Sea for premium beverages, specialty dining, and much more. Think international cruising. Think NCL. For the best deals available, visit ncl.com or contact your travel agent. Restrictions apply.
Welcome to the brand new days.
EWN Business.
Business news now with Mateo Kharipe Harmony joining the gold rush, reporting higher earnings. It's quite a party for these companies, hey, Mattel?
Yeah, the gold miner Harmony saying over the past year it's seen the average gold price increase by more than 27%. It received an average gold price of 1.5 million rand per kilogram. Harmony expects a significant jump in earnings of between 18 to 35%. The company has put its success to continued operational excellence and efficient cost management. Harmony recently acquiring Mac Copper, the owner of CSA Copper Mine in Australia. So been doing quite well. It didn't show though on the JSE as the shares went down more than 4%.
Old Mutual also posting solid results.
The insurer says the share price jumped over 6%. The life insurer and financial services group expects adjusted headline earnings per share to increase by between 21 and 41% in the 6 months to June.
Where's the rand?
Rand at this hour still holding on to very marginal gains at 17 Rand 64 against the US dollar, 20 Rand 49 cents against the euro, and at 23 Rand 72 cents against the British pound. The price of gold at $3,375 an ounce is down 0.5%, with platinum at $1,350. Brent crude now at $66.69 a barrel. More business after 8.
Time now for the latest eyewitness news, brought to you by Bathroom Bazaar, pulling the plug on high prices. Let's start in Alexandra. Sishuwa Zulu, good morning.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Families at an informal settlement there have been left homeless after the city of Johannesburg demolished 7 homes in Tsutsumani. The metro says the structures were built on crucial electricity infrastructure, causing rampant outages in the area. Ward Councillor Tefo Rapadu claims they were forced to go ahead with the demolitions after residents refused to collapse their homes so that the city power can repair a faulty cable. This is a repeat of a similar situation in 2023 when angry residents who were left without power for weeks retaliated and demolished a property built on cables. Rapadu says this is to prevent clashes between community members.
After back and forth with the community, we decided to go and break because now this community is fighting and saying, but where does these people come from? These ones are saying no, but we have nowhere to go. So it's pitting community against community.
But he's also raised concern that some of the people complaining about the demolitions don't even live in the area.
There are people who are farming shacks and renting them out for economic purposes. So for them, it's not about we are displacing people, but for them, we are disrupting their own pockets, that the money that they will be receiving.
A recent SSA report shows that growing lack of trust in the police service remains a deterrent for the public to report cases of housebreaking. While it's the least reported, police have identified housebreaking as the number one crime committed in the country. Yesterday, SSA released its annual victim crime report, breaking down trends in how the public reports crime. Oren Singh takes a look.
After thousands of citizens who form part of Stats SA's Victim Crime Report survey, majority said they wouldn't report cases of housebreaking to police due to a lack of proof or that police would do nothing about it. Statistician General Resenge Maluleke.
Definitely, that is the first thing that people have always raised.
At least 18% of participants claim to have resolved cases of housebreaking themselves. Maluleke says citizens have not only lost faith in police, but the entire justice system.
People, when you compare them to courts of law versus the police, had more comfort in going to the police than they had with the courts of law.
More than 2.6 million incidents of housebreaking were reported to Stats SA in the 2024-25 period. Arun Singh, Eyewitness News.
And the head of the UN's refugee agency says the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda have agreed to repatriate refugees uprooted by conflict in eastern DRC. The declaration by UNHCR Chief Filippo Grandi in Kinshasa came as tensions persist between the two countries despite a US brokered peace deal they signed in June. DRC is currently holding peace talks also with the Rwanda-backed M23 militia, which has seized large parts of the eastern DRC. Grandi, speaking to journalists after meeting with DRC President Felix Tshisekedi, said 533 Rwandan refugees who had been living in DRC Congo were repatriated in Rwanda over the past 2 days under the supervision of his agency. He's urged all parties to respect the principle that the returns of Congolese and Rwandans who had been displaced by violence in eastern DRC must be done in their own accord. A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of 11 and 13 degrees, peaking at highs between 26 and 29.
And in the traffic in the city of Tshwane, there's queuing traffic on the R80 East Mabopane Highway approaching Eskiampahlele Drive. There's also queuing traffic along the N4 West between Stormfield Road and the Proof Plus interchange while heading towards Centurion. Delays on the N1 South between Linwood Road and the Flying Saucer interchange.
The top story this hour: families at an informal settlement in Alexandra have been left homeless after the city of Johannesburg demolished 7 homes in Tsutsumani.
For mind-blowing bathroom specials, come to Bathroom Bazaar. Celebrate spring with a small upgrade that makes a big difference. Get 15% off all taps at Bathroom Bazaar so you can freshen up in style. That's right, 15% off all taps at Bathroom Bazaar. But hurry, only while stocks last. That's P-I-Z-A-R-R-E. Come to Bathroom Bazaar. Come to Bathroom Bazaar. Bathroom Bazaar, pulling the plug on high prices.
Show up for the finalist who showed up for you. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko. Vote for your favorite local business now on primediaplus.com.
Clement Maniatella.
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
Yes, you're right. The talent is there, but is the environment conducive for the talent to come in?
What I'm talking about is the board of the Republic of South Africa. The board of directors of the Republic of South Africa is Parliament. It is from that 400 that we have to choose those who will occupy executive positions, including the president. And South Africans need to decide, I want a different quality board. Right now, I am sorry to say, South Africa does not select its best to govern it. We've got to be frank about this. You can't ask a donkey to run the Durban July. It will not win. And that's what South Africans continually do.
Songo Zosibi, the leader of Rise Mzansi.
Clements Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702. At the heart of global conversations shaping our future, Africa's voice is more important than ever. As proud lead sponsor of the B20, the Standard Bank Group is honored to showcase the continent's growth, partnerships, and potential on the world stage. Because driving Africa's growth isn't just our ambition, it's our purpose. Tune in every Monday from 3 p.m. for the Standard Bank B20 in brief for key insights and updates around the B20. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider. Celebrate Women's Month in style with Hollywood bets and Spinner Zonke. Take fearless shots at fantastic fortunes with our special selection of fierce female-themed games. Kick back, relax, and entertain yourself with the ultimate slot escape. Let Heart of Rio put you in a carnival mood. Indulge in anime fantasy with 9 Tails, or embark on fire-breathing adventures in Dragon Kingdom. Supercharge your slots and bet now. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008.
Spar brings you super savings. Get 1 litre 6-pack Spar Long Life, full cream, low fat or fat-free milk, excluding lactose-free, for $89.99 with Spar Rewards, or 900-gram original Bacoma Wheat Bix for $49.99. Save 15 Rand with Spar Rewards. Plus, you could win your share of 6 million Rand in instant cash. Prices valid until 7 September 2025, while stocks last. T's and C's apply.
One brave decision made today can lead to brand new tomorrow. This Thursday, 702 Drive with John Perlman will hear how the courage of one teenager met the compassion of the right people and made the seemingly impossible possible. It's an inspiring conversation made possible by the Discam Foundation. Thursday, 702 Drive with John Perlman. Remember, every swipe your Discam or Discam Baby City Benefit card supports initiatives that change lives across South Africa. The Discam Foundation, caring for the community. Every swipe counts.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Minister of Justice Miss Mamoloko Gobai is refreshing. I liked how both of you held your own. But Bongani, you're not listening. However, I can understand where you're coming from, because most of these politicians and ministers, they're like taking us for a fool. Great show. Thank you.
Top of the morning, Mr. Bingwa and 702 lenders. In Mamuluku Kumpai, you're not dealing with an Angazi. Yeah, no. The minister knows her story. But Mr. Bingwa, what this thing highlights is or underscores is just how complex government and governance is. There must be a way we can simplify this for the ease of execution. Thanks for a great show. Tsepo in Boxburg.
Good morning, Bongani. The minister is not telling the truth. She knew all along this about the processes. She just wants to get rid of the DG because the DG contract is coming to an end next year, and she has made it clear that the contract is not renewed. The DG is now becoming a sacrifice lamb. She must just save us costs and just pay the DG whatever the remaining of her contract instead of doing this process of disciplinary process that will cost more than the buyout contract of the DG. Thank you.
Yesterday, Auntie Tilil said, Bongani, you are not reading. Today, Minister Kubai says, Bongani, you are not listening. Hey, Ziakala Bongani. Police decided Pretoria.
Look, all right, let's number of things to respond to all those voice notes. Firstly, I really do appreciate Minister Mamuluko Kubai. She's one of those ministers that always avails herself. When we requested this interview yesterday, the earliest she could do it was the 28th, which was just not good enough for us. And so we begged, we insisted, we pleaded, and she made herself available. As you heard, she doesn't just come on shows like this without preparation and without the right answers. But we have to ask the question of oversight. She herself reminded us that she is a former minister of communications and digital technologies. So if anybody would have known what the government infrastructure or the state capacity around IT infrastructure was to let this commission do its work in the time it's required, would be her. Now, of course, she can't sit in meetings that decide if CETA doesn't do it, who else must? But it would have been a fair question to raise up front to say, all right, guys, the president wants this thing to begin by this date. We will need the CETA IT infrastructure to make sure all of this information is protected. Do they have that capacity up front? Find out. If they don't, make a plan. Not least because on the 1st of June, a month and a half before the president announced this commission, the current Minister of Communications and Digital Technologies, Soli Malatsi, gazetted a new regulation that said if CETA is not up to the task for a government entity that needs its services, they may move to procure a different provider. Write to CETA, and if they don't respond to you or they aren't able to do it, Regulation 17.8 allows that deviation. We should never have got here, not least, or at least not because of IT services. And that was the point I was trying to put to the minister.
702. What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance, and it's your chance to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later, 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. Today's answer comes from Thembalihle, who's in Ridgeway. Thembalihle, what is today's answer, please?
Netflix.
Yeah.
And the answer is 5th June.
Netflix. We'll take
5th of June.
No, we'll take Netflix. We'll take Netflix. Thembalihle, you're confusing.
Okay.
You're confusing yourself and us. 1,000 Rand coming your way. The answer that she gave first is the one we'll go with, Netflix. If that's the answer, what's the question? Give us a call on 011 8830
EWN Sport.
All right, this EWN Sport is brought to you by RMB Corporate Banking. Ready, set, cash flow. Cindy Paluta, it's all happening, isn't it?
Absolutely. I love that little round of applause because Orlando Pirates won last night. It's just a sheer
Kate's getting very excited there.
Relief. Yeah.
Playing the wrong thing.
It's only 3 or 4 games into the season, Kate. Come back. Right. Orlando Pirates fans left less than impressed, though, despite their side beating Orbit College 1-0. Sima with the only goal of the game in the second half, coach Abdulsalam Mawadu.
We didn't concede lots of chances in the first half, but in the same time, I was not so happy about how we started. We had to make some changes at the second half to bring some fresh blood, to keep the ball, to control the ball. And I think we changed the impact players, changed the physiognomy of the match in the second half. It's the image that we are expecting from Orlando Pirates.
Stellenbosch got their first win. They beat Galant 1-0. TS Galaxy beat Siwalele 2-0. Bottom of the table, Chippa have yet to win a game. They lost to Richards Bay 1-0. Polokwane goalless to Durban City. Tonight at FNB Stadium, the unbeaten Kaizer Chiefs take on the defending champions Mamelodi Sundowns. Sundowns lost their MTN8 semi-final and are missing key players through injury. But Chiefs midfield Nkosi Ngobo says it doesn't mean anything.
You know the quality of Sundowns very well. We can never say because they lost their previous game and maybe it's going to be an easy game. It's not going to be an easy game. They're a very strong team. They have their positives, but also their negatives. So we're just going to be working to capitalize on the negatives and making sure that we play our A game.
Also tonight, top of the table, Sekhukhune host Amazulu Golden Arrows player Magesi. In selected League Cup results last night, Wolves knocking out West Ham 3-2. Brentford beat Bournemouth 2-0. Leeds and Sunderland were beaten on penalties by Sheffield Wednesday and Huddersfield. At the US Open tennis, the second seed Iga Swiatek got a straight sets win. But as a huge fan of Taylor Swift, Swiatek spent a good part, at least half of the first half of the press conference, speaking about Taylor Swift's engagement to Travis Kelce when asked.
My team showed me on Instagram. Well, I'm just happy for her because she deserves the best. And obviously she had a lot of boyfriends. So we know all about that. Hopefully this one will, stick forever. And Travis seems like a great guy and she seems super happy. So I'm happy for her and I wish them all the best. Yeah.
Taylor Swift's engagement post getting 1 million likes within the first 3 minutes of her posting. Yep.
Wow.
Elsewhere, third seed Coco Gauff fought hard to a 3-set win over Tomljanovic. And on the men's side, the defending champion Yannick Sinner needed an hour and a half to cruise through, along with Musetti and Daminar. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Feeling some lag in Sector 3?
Copy. Optimizing working capital. Ready. You're approaching a tight corner. Cash flow pressure ahead.
Low on liquidity. Supply pressure is building. Set.
Deploying cash injection in 3, 2, 1, flow.
Nice move. Better supply chain control.
Lab time advantage. Faster cash cycles, leaner inventory, and optimized working capital.
Ready, set, cash flow. Corporate banking from RMB. RMB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSP and credit provider.
Celebrate the arrival of spring with jazz from all corners at Nairobi Sculpture Park in the Cradle of Humankind on the 7th of September. Featuring Kujenga, Tandintuli, Linda Sikakane and Sia Makuzeni, Nairobi invites you to indulge in nature and art, exploring exhibitions on the rolling lawns and meandering waterways. A perfect occasion for family and friends with curated culinary pleasures and refined bar offerings. Limited tickets are available from nairoxarts.com. Nairox is a private, not-for-profit foundation to benefit the arts. All income is used to maintain the grounds, the artist residency program, and artist support.
You could do something first and still be doing it wrong. What hurts is sprinting but never making it to the finish line. Quit going in the wrong direction because with Sunny Sixt, you can rent here and globally. Other car rental companies only have a vision to try harder. We actually deliver. While they leave you feeling blue, our budget and vibe match yours. For a tailored service offering premium at every stage, book premium car rental excellence with Sani Sixt.
Want to save on your next local holiday? Lekker offers amazing deals on local accommodation all year round. From self-catering getaways to luxury stays and everything in between, Lekker has something for every budget. Don't miss out on Lekkerslop's amazing year-round accommodation offers all over South Africa. Download the Lekker app today and discover how easy it is to book an affordable holiday. Lekker, always save on the best local stays.
EWN Traffic.
10 to 8, this EWN Traffic brought to you by the new Opel Grandland. With smart tech and striking design, it's German engineering on a grand scale. Test drive one today at your nearest Opel dealer. There's a crash in Irene, Amo.
That's correct, Bongani, along Nelmapier's Drive right at Ridgevlei Dam Road. It's causing heavy traffic volumes. Please try to avoid this one. You can still use the N1 South towards areas like Centurion as well as Midrand. Speaking of Midrand, we've got an accident on the N1 South right near the Olifantsfontein Road off-ramp. It's causing heavy delays coming out of the Brockfontein interchange, about a 15-minute hold-up there. There's also queuing traffic along the Mike 1 South between the Baklu interchange and Marlborough Drive. While traveling within the inner city areas, we've got delays along Republic Road just as you approach Winnie Mandela Drive. This is in the Bryanston area, Hurlingham. So please be on the lookout there and drive with care. We'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Great entrance? Forget that. Make a grand entrance.
Grand!
Be late, make everyone wait, and be grateful they did. Peeps be rubbernecking, staring gormlessly like deer in your 50,000 intelligent LED headlights.
Grand!
Make a grand entrance in the new Opel Grandland, designed and made in Germany. Achtung, baby.
Grand!
It's even got massage seats.
Uber grand!
Visit opel.co.za for more.
702. What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance. Please tell me what's the question. If the answer is Netflix, let's go to Tato in Sandton. Tato, what's the question?
The question is, where will Nandi Magudumana and Thabo Bester's true crime documentary series play?
And they're trying to stop it, right? I mean, it's quite unbelievable. I said earlier, I'm quite irritated with these two. If they would just go and stay gone. I'll tell you what, though, Tato. Have you got yourself a quote from Outsurance?
I'm already with Outsurance.
Look at you, Tato. 2,000 Rand coming your way, all thanks to Outsurance and 702. Indeed, that documentary is going to be on Netflix. I want you to listen to the Beauty and the Beast trailer from Netflix.
It is one of the most improbable things that I've encountered, not just as a judge, but in my life.
Bester was sentenced to life imprisonment for multiple rapes and murder.
And yet, while he was still in prison, there were women in particular coming to see him. And one of the women was a celebrity doctor, Nandipa Magudumana.
Who is this doctor?
The most important thing, living with positivity.
Is she an accomplice? Is she a victim?
Bester had faked his death and he had escaped.
How did Thabo Bester manage to break out of prison?
He knows how to play on feelings and emotions.
Love, it can make you do unbelievable things.
That's the docu they don't want you to see. I'm getting a flood of texts, WhatsApps, friends on the YouTube. Everybody loves it when we get it wrong. Hey, Amo? So it's not Beauty and the Beast, but it's...
Beauty and the Bester.
Beauty and the Bester. What are they going to tell us that we don't already know about this couple? Anyway, it's coming out on Netflix. Now, Outsurance has simply had their best results. Outsurance scored 9.99 on the Hello Peter Trust Index, a near 5-star rating on Google Reviews, and have outperformed their personal best on the number of complaints per 1,000 claims referred to the Ombudsman. Switch to the insurer that keeps raising the bar on low prices, service, and trust. Call 08600 60,000 or visit outsurance.co.za today. You always get something out. A licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
Spar brings you super savings. Get 2 kg Tastic long grain, parboiled, brown or soft absorbing rice assorted for $34.99. Save 10 Rand with Spar Rewards, or 2 litre Spar sunflower or canola oil for $69.99 with Spar Rewards. Plus, you could win your share of 6 million Rand in instant cash. Price is valid until 7 September 2025 while stocks last. T's and C's apply.
From the brilliant buzz of Joburg to the beautiful beaches of the Eastern Cape, FlySafair has you covered. That's right, from 1st November, we'll be flying from Lanseria Airport to both East London and PE, just in time for the holiday rush.
tickets are on sale now from only 770 Rand. So whether it's for work or play, plan your Eastern Cape escape from Lanseria or vice versa. Book now at flysafair.co.za. Fly Safair, for the love of fly. T's and C's apply.
Zinzi, the Gen Z. Word on the street is you sold your car.
Yes, and you know I needed a glow up. Hashtag no hustle, no hassle.
So wait. The influencer got influenced by We Buy Cars.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And they came to me. They checked the car, they gave me an offer. Oh, and they paid me immediately. Easier than an Insta Live, without the weird DMs at 2 a.m.
I didn't understand half of the things you just said, but hey, We Buy Cars. Geared for the glow up, geared for you.
702.
702. What's gone viral?
With Kabazela.
Time now for the world of viral content. Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Belle.
It's the only place I go to. How far would you go for a haircut?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. So this woman posted a video online. So she lives in KZN, and she documented her trip all the way to Joburg to have her hair done, and she only goes to this specific place. And I can see why if you watch the video. I mean, they are really meticulous and professional, and they've got technology and the works. It really looks like a really great experience, especially if you're going to be there for hours and hours, right? So that's her. She travels from KZN to Johannesburg for her hair. So I thought, let's put it out there this morning and ask our 702 family if there are places that you travel to. Now, it could be on the other side of town, or it could be just like this lady, where it's in a different province. And it's because you go there because they do the best what, or they have the most amazing blah blahs, whatever it may be. And that's why you go there. So you travel far, but the distance is worth it at the end, because you know, number one, you're going to get good service, or it's going to be the most amazing, fit cake or magwinyas or biltong, whatever it may be. Where do you travel to? How far to get something, and what is it?
And a particular service. Of course, the other thing is what happens if this thing that you're boasting about wasn't worth the travel. We looked at this video and this hairstyle, and we thought, poor thing.
Did you not like it?
No. Not for the money. She paid 4,500 Rand. We were like, hey. I tell you what, John O'Loud on X, he'll post it. You can judge for yourself. I don't know if it's the flex you thought it was.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. Amo?
Well, Bongani, we still have got delays in the city of Tshwane along Nalmepius Drive and Ridgevlei Dam Road. This is due to a major accident seen right at this turn off and it's causing delays. Please be on the lookout. While traveling towards Midrand, another accident seen on the N1 South near Samrand Road. Delays from the Brakfontein interchange. More updates coming up.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Explore the wonders of Mpumalanga. Discover the ultimate wildlife experience. An adrenaline rush with endless adventure activities. 4x4 routes. Unwind with spectacular landscapes. Majestic waterfalls. Make Mpumalanga the destination of your choice. A message brought to you by the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. The place of the rising sun. Visit mpumalanga.com for more.
702.
702.
Feedback.
With Rupfiwa Kone.
Rupfiwa Kone, you saw Kabazela's video.
Yes, I did.
That hairstyle. She travels across provinces. She paid 4.5, right?
Yes, she did pay 4.5.
And
was
it the one?
I know a few people who could have done a little bit better.
She doesn't have to travel that far.
It was not necessary, no.
I tell you what, I would be prepared to travel to Venda. For the avos.
Yes, of course.
Right?
It's the place to be.
has brought us avos from Venda before.
You always say
I would travel for those avos. What else you got?
Bongani, listeners are reacting to the question that you posed about things that they would want in their workspaces. I personally also, to bring a little bit of whimsy into Prime Media space, would love a slide. You know,
slide?
A slide.
What do you mean a slide?
So that we can slide down to the
and
canteen.
not take the steps.
Yes.
But you've got lifts.
Some whimsy, guys. Something
Playfulness.
You know, something playful, something
like the ones
fun.
at Hamleys.
Yes. I would love that. But listeners are also saying that they would love some nap pods, nap spaces where they can take naps just to rejuvenate. And I hope decision makers are listening.
People are napping?
Those are the types of things that come out, Bongani.
This is why ICT didn't procure for the Madlanga Commission. Nap pods at the department. Gosh, more of your responses to all that we've raised on the show. And of course, still to come, Professor Pitana. Why is he leaving the National Lotteries Commission?
This is EWN.
Delays of the police inquiry have members of parliament concerned, and the suspension of the Pensions Agency CEO has been widely welcomed. Good morning, I'm Sishuwa Zulu. Parliament's Justice Committee says it's concerned about the delays in getting the Police Commission of Inquiry off the ground. Committee Chairperson Ngola says it's particularly worrying that civil servants appear to have caused the stall. The commission, led by the recently retired Constitutional Court Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga, was set to start hearings into alleged police corruption and political interference on Monday. But it announced yesterday that procurement delays meant it cannot start working. Lindsay Dentlinker has more.
The Justice Department's accounting officer, Doc Mashabane, is one of two officials which have taken the fall for the procurement hiccups that have now put the brakes on the Madlanga Commission. While Justice Minister Mamaloko Kubai says she can't interfere in procurement processes, some issues could have been avoided. The Deputy Director General for ICT Services, Jabulani Shlatswayo, has now been placed on immediate suspension, pending a full investigation and disciplinary process. Parliament's Justice Committee Chairperson, Ngola, says it's concerning that the delay appears to have been caused by public servants not executing their responsibilities. Parliament has appealed to the Minister to closely monitor the progress in ensuring the Commission receives the resources it needs to ensure it can commence speedily. Meanwhile, Parliament's own inquiry into the allegations made by KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi is also yet to get down to business. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
Some political parties and unions have lauded National Treasury for taking control of the Government Pensions Administration Agency after its CEO, Gidiboni Madiahe, was placed on precautionary suspension. Madiahe is under investigation for serious allegations of procurement irregularities at the agency. This includes claims she is aware of a fictitious lease agreement entered into by the pension administrator and a property developer costing more than R1 billion. Nokayam Dambo has more.
In an expose, News 24 previously reported that suspended CEO Gidiboni Madiahe was aware of a dubious 10-year lease to move the GPAA's headquarters to the Brooklyn Office Park in Pretoria. But the owner of the building had no knowledge of the deal, even though funds had been earmarked and upfront fees paid to a subletter awarded to the tender. The DA has welcomed Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana's decision to appoint Treasury's Job Mngomezulu as acting CEO. But the party says it wants full disclosure on the investigations and how maladministration at the agency will be corrected. Trade Union Federation COSATU also wants the probe to be fast-tracked and for the successful prosecution of anyone found to have flouted procurement regulations. COSATU says looted public funds need to be recovered to restore the entity. Nogukanya Mdambo, Eyewitness News.
Convicted killer and rapist Thabo Bester says a pending Netflix production covering him and his accomplice, Dr. Nandipha Magudumana, is a character assassination under the guise of a documentary. He's approaching the High Court to urgently interdict the documentary titled Beauty and the Bester. He claims the production makes serious unfounded and defamatory submissions against him. The saga involves Bester and his lover Magudumana, which gripped the nation in 2023 after they were arrested in Tanzania following a brazen escape from the Mangaung prison. Khomotso Modise has more.
Beauty and the Bester, a Netflix production covering the events surrounding Thabo Bester and Nandi Phamagudumana, is set to be aired on the 12th of September. But Bester has rushed to court on an urgent basis to stop the screening, saying he strongly disputes the accuracy, fairness and legitimacy of the content. Bester's lawyers say he was not afforded an opportunity to respond to the allegations against him. They've accused the producers of the documentary of gross abuse of media freedom. It's unclear when the matter will be heard, but Bester has approached the court on an urgent basis. Khomotso Modise, Eyewitness News.
And Union Nehawu wants harsh sanctions against some lobby groups and political parties for fueling U.S. President Donald Trump's disinformation campaign against South Africa. This follows several trips to Washington by AfriForum and Solidarity earlier this year, where they are accused of leading calls for Trump's administration to punish South Africa for its race laws, the Expropriation Act, and the country's foreign policy. The DA and FF Plus are also among political parties that met with Washington officials in what has caused a massive upset in the country. This was raised at Nehawu's first day of its international seminar and bargaining conference on the East Rand yesterday. Nehawu's president, Mike Shingange, says organizations that talk down South Africa cannot be let off the hook.
We cannot allow our country to be sanctioned for manufactured lies of false white genocide and fictitious persecution of Afrikaners. That today, what in the past will have been considered to be treasonous, that you go out of your own country and decampaign your country in the foreign land and call for the sanctions in your own country has not been punished as a crime against the democratic state is amazing for our part.
Gold is trading at $3,382.42 an ounce. The rand is at 17.64 to the dollar, 23.74 to the pound, 20.51 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $67.32 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N3 South. This is between the Vincent Chabalala Road exit and the Giluli's interchange. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 South between the Brockfontein off-ramp and Samrin Avenue due to an accident.
And in your sport, Orlando Pirates fans expected more from their team despite a 1-0 win over Orbit College last night. Tonight, an unbeaten Kaizer Chiefs host Sundowns at 7:30 at FNB Stadium. And at the US Open, no upsets as the top seed Sinner and Swiatek cruised through. Coco Gauff needed 3 sets to advance.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 26 and 29 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Parliament's Justice Committee says it's concerned about the delays in getting the Police Commission of Inquiry off the ground.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Gauteng's greatest awards at 702 and Yoko. Let's celebrate excellence, one vote at a time. Go to primediaplus.com now to vote for the finalist that makes Gauteng feel like home.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
It's 8 minutes after 8 o'clock. You're listening to 702 Breakfast on this Wednesday, the 27th of August, the year of our Lord, 2025. I don't know if you've seen Kabazela's video. How far would you go for a product or service? And what is that product or service that you would travel far to get? Muteo?
Not on my bill. But there's something called a hammam in Turkey, which is like a bath. So people scrub you and all sorts of things. Like almost like a massage, but they foam you and...
Ooh.
Not on my bill though, but I'd go that far.
A hammam?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. That sounds delish.
Yeah, exactly. So...
Amo?
Now, after what Mutore has said, I don't know if I should mention my orange. my oranges in Zebediela. But they are the most freshest, most juicy.
From where? Zamdela?
Zebediela in Limpopo. And it's actually that region, it's known for its oranges. A lot of people have orange.
Is that close to Vembe?
It's not close to Vembe.
You know,
but I promise you, the
chief apparently told the producers I could have a plot but he's also going to, it comes with a wife.
To take care of you.
That shouldn't be a problem.
I was like, oh, really? But there's a wife too. Because I thought,
an entire lifestyle.
Yeah.
Hey, Uncle Wongs, talk about traveling. I used to travel all the way from Boxback to Pretoria, Sunnyside, just to have a haircut. So I did that roughly for like 3 months to 4 months until the guy actually took my hairline. From there, I was like, no more. So I decided to go and take a lot, bought myself 2 machines, and I converted my wife into my new barber. So we always go to YouTube now and then. And yeah, I'm happy. I won't complain because I get to talk. I get to say, no, don't do that. I like going to these barbers.
Good morning, Bongani. Regarding traveling far for haircut, I live in Midrand, work in Sandton, Randburg, around that area, but I travel to the East Rand in Katlehong to get my hair cut. That boy cuts my hair so well, straight lines beautifully. I feel amazing after he's done it. And he charges like 40 Rand, so I give him like 150 because that's what I would have paid around here. Hector in Midrand.
Good morning, Kabazela. While we're still on the topic of haircuts, so there's a guy in Braamfontein, his name is Mike, just opposite the Wits University. He is just a brilliant barber. I travel about an hour and a half just to get my hair done there because he just gets the job done. Yeah, man, but it's worth it. Thank you.
Good morning, Bongani. We live in Constantia in Cape Town. My wife flies once a month to Johannesburg. I won't give the name of the place, to have her nails done at the Bluebird Shopping Centre. Good show. Thanks. Bye.
I love it. Wow. I mean, and when you find that service provider, you stick with them, right? I've kind of been a serial barberist, if that makes any sense, right?
You kept changing your barber.
Yeah, I kept changing my barber
That's
because I wasn't finding the right one. But I did find the right one. So as you know, I'm going to be away for a couple of, days.
You're traveling with your barber?
No. So I'm going to Italy tonight, and I've saved it until the very last minute. All I have to do today, most of the packing is done. All I have to do today is make sure to go and see my barber, because he's got to do the things ahead of my holiday.
Don't miss it.
Yeah, so when you find a barber, I get it. You travel far and wide. What's that service? What's that product you would travel far for? And yeah, give us some ideas.
Let's talk.
We're listening.
No, Bonganini, I'm with you on this one. Why is it just expected of him to know and be able to do everything? The other day I had a problem with my light, the light fitting, not just the globe. And a friend of mine says, no, you just take it off, you cut the wires and you put the new fitting on and reconnect the wires. And I'm like, what? You want to kill me? Did my wife hire you to kill me? What's going on here? I don't touch electricity. I'm sorry. That's a no-go from Rustenburg.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that idea. Mutero, what was your question earlier? What are those things we fix ourselves within the house?
You're willing to DIY, and what are the things that you're willing to say, okay, now it's time to call a professional?
And I said zero.
Zero.
No, I said zero because I'd probably do more damage. And the other thing, of course, is not to just throw money at the problem. Make sure the person you get to fix it themselves know what to do.
Otherwise, it's very costly.
Yeah, and often the guys will come to me and they'll say, hey, we need this, we need that. And I'm like, hey, you are the expert. Come and talk to me about what I do. Then we'll have a conversation. But you tell me what you need and let's get it done and get it out of the way once and for all.
EWN Traffic.
It's 14 after 8. Amoramela, let's check the roads at this hour. How are things looking?
Well, if you're traveling in Edenville, we've got an accident on the N3 South, and that's the reason for those queues I spoke about earlier coming out of Vincent Chabalala Road in the Alexandra area. So expect about a 30-minute hold up there. Well, on the N12 R24 West, traffic remains heavily backed up between Edenville Road and the Kirulis interchange, and that's due to peak time delays there. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 North in the Deep Kloof area due to an earlier accident. Delays coming out of the N12 exit. Another accident seen in Turffontein along Kliprufer Drive. This one is right after Xavier Street. It's causing heavy traffic volume coming out of the N12 exit. Please be on the lookout there. More updates coming up.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Think about 6 years ago, when Amapiano was just a musical instrument, when streaming meant watching water flow, not videos online, and remote work was only said when your remote batteries died. So it makes you wonder, what will the next 6 years bring? Ohino trucks now come standard with a 6-year drivetrain warranty, covering everything from pistons to gears. So although a lot can change in 6 years, our warranty promise won't. T's and C's apply. Hino, all the way.
Time. When you're a kid, it moves slower than a sloth trying to get through airport security. There is just so much of it. Skip forward a few years to your 20s. Time is still your friend. It says have some balance. Go party and have fun. Then your 30s hit. And time suddenly steps on the accelerator like it's trying to catch a traffic light before it goes red. 40s. Now time is moving faster than your 10-year-old on a sugar high. 50. You're desperately trying to save as much as you can, but time is moving so fast. And all you can think is, where did all the time go? That's why after 50 years of investing, we've learned that time is the greatest gift of all. And the good news is, if you invest early, time gives you money, and then money gives you more time for some much-deserved you time. Now, isn't that a compelling enough reason to invest? Ellen Gray, long-term investing. Ellen Gray is an authorized FSP.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for plumbers, electricians, and other tradesmen. Pumlani.
Switching to Outsurance was one of the best decisions that we've ever made. We needed business cover, over 15 million. Outsurance came forth for us. At Kani, we sleep better at night, knowing that we always get something out of Outsurance.
Switch to Business Outsurance, and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
One brave decision made today can lead to a brand new tomorrow. So 702 Drive with John Perlman on Thursday will tell us about the courage of a teenager who met the compassion of the right people and made the seemingly impossible possible. It's a conversation made possible by the Discam Foundation. Remember, every swipe of your Discam or Discam Baby City benefit card supports initiatives that change lives across South Africa. The Discam Foundation, caring for the community. Every swipe counts.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
17 minutes after 8 o'clock, Professor Pitana is stepping down as chair of the National Lotteries Commission at the end of 2025. You remember, of course, we spoke to him upon his election or appointment as the chair of the NLC, and he was the guy who was going to come in with a broom to sweep the place clean. Why is he stepping down now, following Herculean efforts to try and change the NLC after years of mismanagement and, quite frankly, thieving by officials? What does he know that we don't? Prof, always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for your time.
Good morning, Wong. It's good to talk to you once again. Thank you.
When you were first appointed as chair of the NLC, you and I spoke on this show, and you promised...
I remember that so well, Bongs. I remember that so well.
You promised to sweep the place, yeah.
We promised each other the heavens.
And how far are we? Are we at least in the clouds?
3 years on. I'm sad to report that I'm departing from the commission come 31st of December this year. That's a decision that was not easy on my part to make, but it came out of realization that wherever it is, there's never a good time to leave an important assignment like this. But it also comes because I am confident about two things. One, we've got a very good team of members of the board as well as commissioner and executives who will drive this process forward and will never regress to where we were before. And I've reached a stage where I now feel that I need time to finish my other unfinished business because the National Lotteries Commission has been such an all-consuming labor of love that I really, in the last 3 years, I've spent all my time on NLC business completely, and it's been the RFP and the appointment of the fourth license holder and everything that went with it that took a lot of one's time. But not only that, but to try to restructure the organization to find something about itself and in itself that is bigger than itself, that really would drive a real contribution to this community as was intended by the Act at the time, which something, by the way, had been lost completely in recent years. And we're trying to recover that. To do that, we set up a whole governance system in place. We restructured the way the grant making was taking place. We removed what had been done before in terms of proactive funding, where all the malfeasance was actually taking place.
Right.
We made sure that there are inspectors who actually see that any grant that is made to a living, functioning, operational organization everywhere.
Right, you go and see for yourselves, yeah?
You can actually see for ourselves physically. And so we've got a whole group of amazing young people who are recent graduates who are really committed to really going all over the country and liaising with the grant applicants to assist them in every way possible.
All right.
Now there are two things that I want to say. One is that I'm glad to say that this year, for the first time, we're getting a clean audit. And that's the work that has gone into the compliance structure of the organization completely. And we're very, very happy about that. The second thing we're doing, this year we are having a proper organizational vision for the next 5 years or more. So this strategic plan that we have is going to be presented to an Indaba in November for all our other people we're working with.
I appreciate the confidence you have in terms of the changes that have been made. Apart, of course, from the apportioning of the revenue from the National Lottery to the good causes, as you've just indicated, part of your role is to regulate the National Lottery and also give advice to the Minister of Trade, Industry and Competition when it relates to policy matters. How much of a hand, if any, did you have in the appointment of the operator, or at least the choosing of the operator?
Once we did, we worked on that fourth license operator with my colleagues in the board and the commissioner. We made sure that all the systems were in place. The RFP was passed, and it was everything was above board. It was according to the Act.
Yeah.
And the minister, the previous minister, E.P. Patel, approved it and published it. And we started the process right from the beginning. We received 8 interested parties, bidders, for the first time.
I'm going to, in the interest of time, rush you along here. I suppose, in the context of everything you've said in terms of really sweeping the NLC clean, there have been questions around this particular license holder, operator that has been chosen, particularly in terms of, shall we say, political exposure.
Exposed, yeah.
What is your answer to that in terms of links to powerful and connected politicians?
All I can say, in all honesty, we never saw that coming. It was not on the radar. With all the work that was done, that never came our way at all. And when the decision was made by our board, when it did come, we made a commitment to the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee. We made a commitment, and the minister also made the commitment that we will investigate. That
Did it not concern you?
Of course, it was a matter of concern on the face of it,
Yeah.
without even investigating it. On the face of it, it was a matter of concern. That's why we made a commitment to investigate. We said we would investigate that because in the event that the decision that was made would be affected by whatever is uncovered, then the minister has an option to withdraw the appointment that he has made and made it to another organization. And so far, that work is underway. I'm afraid it's not yet complete because it's very, very difficult for the investigators we've appointed to actually get the appointments that they need to make with the actors who are in this in order to investigate. But we're looking forward.
Time is a factor, though, isn't it?
I'm with you. I agree 100%. It is a factor. It is a factor to us as well. We are concerned, but we've got to push that everybody has to be heard.
All right.
On the face of it, it's a matter of concern, but we have to investigate it.
Right. We might still interrupt you, whatever it is you move on to next, Prof, at whatever time that decision is made, to get your comment on it. Appreciate your availability and your time. The outgoing chairperson of the National Lotteries Commission, Professor Bongani Bingwa.
702, The World View
with Adam Gilchrist.
All right, let's catch up with news from around the world. Protests have become quite commonplace now in terms of the Israeli-Palestinian question. But Adam, emotional protests in Israel itself.
Yeah, from families of the hostages still being held, or in some cases hostages whose bodies are still being held by Hamas in Gaza, or at least we assume they're being held by Hamas. There are many groups at play here. But the hostage families have blocked roads. They have set fire to some containers just to make their point. In many cases, waving placards as well. They are not going quietly into the night, and quite right too, because what they're saying, essentially, a lot of the families anyway, is that the ongoing Israeli military operation is not getting anywhere. It's not getting their loved ones released. There are said to be 20 hostages still held by Hamas. Therefore, to make sure that they have a future, could we not have a ceasefire, please, first? And they also have asked Donald Trump again to underline the need for a ceasefire. It's a moot point, isn't it? How do you get those people released? If Hamas sees them as a bargaining tool, I guess they would want a ceasefire in order to be able to bargain something. On the other hand, is the Israeli military operation really going to end up getting 20 alive people out? Yeah, you can see why it would be an emotional protest, all right.
Adam, a teenager with a stolen vehicle is never a good idea.
No, and anywhere in the world, indeed. But here we are. We're talking about benign, peaceful, relatively quiet Switzerland. In Lausanne, a 17-year-old was alleged to have stolen a scooter, and police gave chase. And in the course of the chase, he crashed the scooter. And although police on the scene and then paramedics tried to revive him, he basically died before they could get him to hospital. This has now incensed a lot of groups. It is thought, although they haven't said specifically, it is thought the 17-year-old was from an immigrant family. They haven't said what country, they haven't said what community, but a number of others have come out to say, hang on, this is indicative of how police are treating us. This is indicative of Swiss society. And so there have been protests, and again, containers set on fire and tires set on fire, and firefighters moved in, and fireworks thrown at police, and police using rubber bullets and tear gas to try to quell the demonstrations, all very angry in this otherwise quite benign city of Lausanne in Switzerland. Just goes to show, though, that the question of immigration, migration, asylum status, all those things seem to affect almost every country on earth, if not every country on earth.
Yes, indeed. Adam, now tell me about this painting looted by the Nazis, spotted on a wall where?
In Argentina. So what they think is that this painting was stolen from a Dutch art collector during the Second World War, and that a lot of his goods were taken because the Dutch art collector died during the Second World War. Hermann Goering himself took some of the artworks, but this particular guy, Friedrich Cadgin, is said to have gone via Switzerland to Brazil and then on to Argentina and lived a, quote, good life with his ill-gotten gains, including a stolen painting, which, because the daughter is now selling Dad's house, he's long since dead, he died 40 odd years ago, because she put the details online, there it is. There's the painting on the wall. the famous Portrait of a Lady by Giuseppe Gislandi. And you can see it there. And she has not said a word yet, nor has her sister. But now, absolutely, the family of the art dealer are pursuing like crazy. Jacques Goudsticker's family are pursuing like crazy, saying, there's our painting. What are the chances 80 years later that you would recognize the painting and be able to pursue it? We shall see what happens.
Goodness me, hey? What an end to that story. Adam Gilchrist with this morning's Worldview.
EWN Business.
Wrapping up business for the morning, Mateo, the car seller Motus saying it's expecting better earnings as car sales improve.
Yeah, car selling group Motus says it expects profits to be between 3 to 5% for the year to end June. Earnings will hit 2.6 billion rand for the period. This is an improvement from the forecasts earlier this year as the company grapples with higher competition, under pressure consumers and fuel prices. According to the Automotive Business Council, NAMSA, in July, aggregate new car sales amounted to about 51,383 units, an impressive 15.5% increase from the 44,452 units sold last year. Now, Motus houses brands like Kia, Hyundai and Renault. The group has a 20% market share in the South African new vehicle retail market, selling every 1 in 5 cars in the country.
Solid results for Old Mutual?
Yeah, Old Mutual expects strong profit growth in its short-term insurance business and favorable financial markets. The group expects adjusted headline earnings per share to increase by between 21 and 41%. This is for the 6 months to end June. Old Mutual says its performance has driven its share price up 13% in 2025. Yesterday, the company's shares up 3.8% after that news.
The rand?
17 Rand 65 against the US dollar, weaker this morning at 20 Rand 51 cents against the euro, and you'll have to fork out 23 Rand 77 cents for a British pound. Price of gold at $3,378 an ounce, down 0.5% this morning. Platinum is up 0.5% at $1,350. Brent crude now at $67.26 a barrel. That's your morning business. Stephen Grotas taking care of business this afternoon.
Straight to the news desk we go. Sishuwa Sishuwa, what you got?
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Some families from an informal settlement in Alexandra want alternative accommodation after the city of Johannesburg demolished their homes. The Metro says it's been in a long battle with the residents who have illegally built 7 structures on power lines, water pipes and a sewage system. The demolitions were ordered by Ward Councillor Tefo Rapadu, who claims residents were warned before action was finally taken. Thandoluhle Ngobo has more.
Yesterday was a sight for sore eyes as demolitions were conducted on 7 homes at Extension 7. Heaps of rubble spilled onto the road, completely covering what was once a sidewalk. Between the destroyed homes and the rubble, a deep line has now formed where a thick water pipe was once situated. Residents created makeshift bridges using their torn down doors and burglar bars to be able to cross into their houses. This while trying to load up the little belongings they were able to salvage from the demolitions onto a moving truck. One of the occupants, Nontsikelelo Ndlovu, says the ward councillor came unexpectedly earlier this week and started to tear down their homes.
More than 8 years. We have been living here for more than 8 years. We are not fighting, but why did they leave us to continue living on top of the municipal servitude for all these years without telling us?
She says now that she's been robbed of her home with nowhere else to go, the least the city could do is supply them with temporary accommodation. Thandoluhle Ngobo, Eyewitness News.
Trade Union Federation COSATU says while it supports tighter tobacco control legislation, more needs to be done to clamp down on the illicit trade. While industry is concerned about the job losses that could result from more stringent legislation, COSATU believes it's the illicit trade that could fuel unemployment. Parliament's Health Committee is currently considering public input on a new bill that will, for the first time, also regulate vaping and other electronic forms of smoking. Lindsay Tentlinker reports.
COSATU says the Tobacco Products and Electronic Delivery Systems Control Bill is a progressive response to a national health crisis. The union's parliamentary representative, Matthew Parks, says workplace productivity is being impacted by the effects of smoking. But he's calling on legislators to be bolder and to consider including track and identification mechanisms in the bill to stamp out the sale of illegal cigarettes.
So we have a real problem with the explosion of illicit trade in tobacco. And that threatens our health objectives, it threatens lives, but also threatens the legally abiding industry and of course those jobs in value chains there.
Parks says the workforce is also being impacted by premature deaths as a result of the effects of smoking.
We support provisions that seek at a workplace to reduce the amount of smoking and the exposure of smoke to non-smoking workers.
COSATU has pleaded with Parliament to pass the new legislation before the end of the 7th administration. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
And a recent Status A report shows that growing lack of trust in the police service remains a deterrent for the public to report cases of housebreaking. While it's the least reported, police have identified housebreaking as the number one crime committed in the country. Yesterday, Status A released its annual victim crime report, breaking down trends in how the public reports crime. Oren Singh reports.
After thousands of citizens who form part of Stats SA's victim crime report survey, majority said they wouldn't report cases of housebreaking to police due to a lack of proof or that police would do nothing about it. Statistician General Resenge Maluleke.
Definitely, that is the first thing that people have always raised.
At least 18% of participants claim to have resolved cases of housebreaking themselves. Maluleke says citizens have not only lost faith in police, but the entire justice system.
People, when you compare them to courts of law versus the police, had more comfort in going to the police than they had with the courts of law.
More than 2.6 million incidents of housebreaking were reported to Stats SA in the 2024-25 period. Aaron Singh, Eyewitness News.
A partly cloudy day in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of 11 and 13 degrees, peaking at highs between 26 and 29.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the M1 South between the Baklu Interchange and Marlborough Drive. There's also queuing traffic in four-ways along Winnie Mandela Drive towards the N1 due to those faulty traffic lights, and travelling in Witkoppen or still in four-way Cedar Road. An accident reported right near Uranium Street and it's causing delays. Please be on the lookout.
The top story this hour. Some families from an informal settlement in Alexandra want alternative accommodation after the city of Joburg demolished their homes.
The Midday Report.
Weekdays,
12 to 1.
The commission now being postponed. What are your thoughts on that as the EFF?
Look, I think we're not surprised that there's been this delay. And I think something we must all remember as people of South Africa right now is that Senzo Mkhunu, while all of this chaos is happening and this commission is suspended indefinitely, Senzo Mkhunu continues to draw a minister's salary. He continues to retain security that is retained by ministers. He continues to stay in a ministerial house because on his special leave, none of these are going to be revoked.
So now Tambo.
The Midday Report
with Mandy Wiener.
12 to 1 on 702.
702.
It's time to eat, dance, and celebrate. The DSTV Delicious Festival, powered by Lotterstar, is serving up 2 days of world-class entertainment, from international acts to South Africa's finest artists, alongside culinary masterpieces from the best local chefs. Browse fashion and art, take part in live cooking demos, and soak up the festival's electric atmosphere. Saturday, 20 September is for you and your crew, and Sunday, 21 September is for the family picnic vibes. DSTV is turning 30 and you're invited to the party, baby. One ticket, endless experiences. Tickets at Ticketmaster. More on deliciousfestival.com.
When you empower a woman, you empower a whole nation. Women have a remarkable way of multiplying whatever is placed in their hands. This August, we're celebrating Women's Month with the theme Building Resilient Economies for All. We reflect and honor the courageous women of 1956 who took a stand against the injustices of the past. We also recognize and celebrate all South African women who continue to lead, build, and inspire across every part of our society, from business and education to peace building and beyond. Yes, there is still much to be done. The pursuit to achieving total gender equality and empowerment will continue until every woman is able to enjoy the benefits of a safe and just society. #Rekaufela Basadi. #Women's Month 2025. A message by the National Department of Sport, Arts and Culture.
When I say insurance, you say pineapple. Insurance.
Pineapple.
Insurance.
Pineapple.
Insurance.
Pineapple.
Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
702
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Bongos, in all honesty, the minister's explanation makes sense. Because had she not gone through CETA first, because those are the laws of the country, unless we go and change laws, we would have been here now saying that she fronted procurement processes and went out to get her own service providers to procure ICT services. By the law, you have to go through CETA, and then if CETA can't deliver, then you go through other processes. So her explanation makes sense. The department needed to give CETA a chance first. CETA failed, as they always do, and then they chose alternatives.
Guys, what is oversight? Oversight doesn't mean you do it yourself. It doesn't even mean that you tell them what to do, but you can raise questions. And that's the point I was making. She was the Minister of Telecommunications and, yes, it's communications and digital technology, right? She knows what CETA can and cannot do. But on top of it, there is a regulation right now that's been in place since the 1st of June that says if they can't deliver, you can go procure somewhere else. My difficulty is being told that very late into the process, we were surprised to find out that CETA can't provide the infrastructure that will underpin how this thing is going to work. You know, you following what I'm saying? If you've worked at a place and you know what they can and cannot do, and they're the ones who are now going to be a crucial part in a process that must unfold. If you are the overseer of that process, wouldn't you say, hang on, I've worked at such and such. Will they be able to do this? Can you double check? It's not for her to double check. It's not for her to decide which provider must then be used to replace the one that can't do it. But it's certainly a question worth asking.
EWN Sport.
Cindy Paluta, Pirates had their big game yesterday.
Huge.
Against Orbit College. I was going to say, but the really, really big one is tonight.
Did you ever think we would say unbeaten Kaizer Chiefs after 3 games are taking on the defending champions, Mamelodi Sundowns, who recently lost on the MTN 8 and have struggled a bit in the league and have got injuries?
Not in recent months. I didn't think
but
we could say that.
They'll probably still win.
No, I mean, Amakosi are coming on. I think this, as you said at the start of the season, if you just, hit the ground running, I think your confidence builds up, right? I think part of the reason Orlando Pirates are a little shaky is because it just wasn't that smooth landing they wanted. Chiefs have had that. Their momentum is building. They might just surprise you.
They might just surprise us. I just hope that because Sundowns have slipped, and I'm not saying I want Sundowns to lose, guys, but sport gets boring if the same person wins every time, right?
Yeah. I'm Team Amakosi today.
We're keen for an active, exciting end to the season. So let's go Amakosi today, right?
Yeah, we're Amakosi today.
Well, Chiefs midfield Dusha Balala says they have a simple goal this season.
So what I can say is we want to be better than last season in every aspect, and we have goals around inside the team. And we are happy we managed to get 9 points out of this, and we're looking forward to the upcoming games.
Also tonight, top of the table, Sekakone hosts Amazulu, Golden Arrows play Magesi. Last night, Pirates beat newly promoted Orbit College 1-0. Stellenbosch and Richards Bay both got their first wins. They beat Galant and Chipper. Those games both were 1-0 as well. TS Galaxies up to 5th after beating Sibulele 2-0. And Durban City missing the chance to go top of the table after a goalless game with Polokwane. In the English League Cup last night, West Ham, Bournemouth, Leeds and Sunderland were all knocked out as Wolves, Brentford, Sheffield Wednesday and third-tier side Huddersfield advanced. At the US Open today, South African Lloyd Harris plays last year's runner-up Taylor Fritz in the second round. Also today, Alcaraz, Djokovic and Shelton. In action yesterday, there was no problem for the defending champion Yannick Sinner, who cruised in straight sets. Also cruising through to the second round was Iga Swiatek, while Coco Gauff fought hard in a 3-set win. And in rugby, there's 2 rounds left of the Currie Cup, and the Bulls could miss out on making the playoffs. There are 6 on the table. Have to beat the Lions this Saturday at Ellis Park and the Cheetahs next week at Loftus. Bulls coach Pio Nomlomo speaking on Rugby 365.
We've got 2 games which we can get 10 points from. Yes, it would be a disaster for sure if a Bulls team wasn't in the semis, because you're expected to win games, and I've said that at the Bulls. The Bulls want to play in playoffs in every competition. We had our challenges, and we're not going to make excuses for them. It's a must-win game for us, and that's what we're concentrating on.
Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Gauteng's greatest awards at 702 and Yoko. Let's celebrate excellence, one vote at a time. Go to primediaplus.com now to vote for the finalist that makes Gauteng feel like home. Meet the new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7, re-engineered to be our thinnest and lightest foldable yet. Move with confidence, powered by an ultra-sleek, ultra-slim design that adapts wherever life takes you. Open your world to expansive screens, seamlessly crafted for work and play. It's innovation that fits your pocket. Upgrade to the new Galaxy Z Fold 7 and get double the storage on us. Hurry, offer ends 31 August. T's and C's apply.
Elevate your flying experience with Lift Premium. Enjoy even more space, comfort, and convenience with priority boarding, extra baggage allowance, and complimentary lounge access. Visit lift.co.za today.
When you're uploading massive files, does it really matter what your internet's download speed is? With business class internet, you get a connection that's as fast going up as it is down. Your company deserves business class internet, because just reboot the router isn't a business strategy. Find reliability at vodacombusiness.co.za. Together, let's build the extraordinary. Further together. Vodacom Business.
EWN Traffic.
Right, let's wrap up the morning's traffic. How are the roads looking at this hour, Amo?
Well, traveling in the city of Tshwane Centurion, we still have got that accident near Samrand Road. As a result, delays coming out of the Brockfontein interchange. There's also queuing traffic on the Mike 1 North. This is between Boysons Road and Car Street due to peak time delays. Please be on the lookout there. I'll have more details and updates at the top of the hour.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Hi. I need balloons.
Sure.
Now. My dog barked. Pretty sure he said potty.
Okay.
He was like...
At the Crazy Store, you'll find every excuse to celebrate.
Hi, me again. My houseplant survived another week. Where's your confetti?
And everything you need. Helium, gift wrap, dress up. And more. The Crazy Store. Hey, you never know what you might find. To have a good party.
Spar brings you super savings. Get 1 liter 6-pack Spar Long Life full cream, low fat or fat-free milk, excluding lactose-free, for $89.99 with Spar Rewards, or 900-gram original Bacoma Wheat Bix for $49.99. Save 15 Rand with Spar Rewards. Plus, you could win your share of 6 million Rand in instant cash. Prices valid until 7 September 2025 while stocks last. T's and C's apply.
Naked people are more interesting. They can make conversation with absolutely anyone at the office, even Jeff from IT. That's because naked people get car and home insurance online in seconds, which means less time wasted on insurance admin and more time listening to obscure crypto podcasts for their next encounter with Jeff. Go to naked.insure now, get a quote in 90 seconds, and get naked, people. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
All right, between 9 and 12 is the Clement Manyatela Show, where we can look forward to... Da-da-da-da.
Wow. This is not carte blanche. Coming up on the Clement Manyatela Show, we're going to be reflecting on, of course, what the Minister of Justice said and the action that he's taken against the DG and DDG. At 10 o'clock, we're going to have a conversation with the ANC's Treasurer General, Dr. Gwen Ramokgopa. At 11 o'clock, we do our Listener's Choice feature. And today, we'll be looking at human trafficking and how prevalent it is in South Africa.
All right, that's the Clement Manyatela Show between 9 and 12.
Payment solutions should run with your business wherever and whenever it happens. With PayFast by Network, you can accept payments online, in-store, or on the move with one simple, secure system. And when business picks up, our Easy Advance funding gives you flexibility to move even faster. Always open, for every hour, for every order, for you. Sign up today at payfast.io. PayFast has partnered with TymeBank to offer funding to your business.
Are you ready to explore your beautiful country in style? With Lekker Slaap's user-friendly accommodation booking app, finding the perfect stay has never been easier. Whether you're dreaming of a beach escape, a bush retreat, or a city adventure, Lekker Slaap has you covered with thousands of stays for every budget. Join millions of happy South Africans who book their stays on Lekker Slaap. Download the Lekker Slaap app today and easily book your next holiday.
The Festival of Motoring, powered by Westbank, brings the spirit of Ubuntu to the Kyalami Grand Prix circuit from the 29th to the 31st of August. Experience thrilling track drives, 4x4 adventures, drifting, supercar hot laps, and F1 demos. Get your tickets on Howler and use the promo code RADIO for a special discount. The Festival of Motoring, the power of new.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Corporates That Care, as you well know, promotes and encourages corporate leaders, but really all citizens, to walk the talk to make a better South Africa. And the idea is walking the talk together, we can make a difference. I'm so proud to tell you that today we've got Aquila's Sharon Combrink, who's the marketing manager, with us in studio to tell us why they are a corporate that cares. We last saw each other at the Walk the Talk, but for you that slogan means so much more than a peppy phrase. So tell us, why are you a corporate that cares, Sharon?
Yeah, thanks, Bongani. Thanks for having me. Like you say, Aquila, really, that's the reason for our existence, is to walk the talk. We really exist to help people. So we're based on a mission station, Kwasisabantu mission. And as the name explains, it's the place where people are helped. And that's the very core of the business. And Aquila was started when they needed water for this community. And when they tested the water, it was just so pure, so good, it had to be bottled and shared with South Africa. And that's really how Aquila started 27 years ago. Yeah. Right? And it's South Africa's favorite water brand today. But by every bottle that we sell, it really is to make a difference. So our core values are to make a difference, to uplift people and communities, and that's exactly why Walk the Talk was such a nice event to partner with.
All right, tell me a little bit more about the actual mission itself.
Yes, so the mission is based in the heart of KwaZulu-Natal, started in 1970 already, and it invites people from all walks of life to come to get help. And like I said, the projects like Aquila, the water, was really started to help fund the mission. They feed over 1,200 people every day. There's some farming initiatives. They go out and teach people to farm. We do food and water deliveries. Yeah, so that's really just in a nutshell. It's a long story, but that just gives a quick overview.
I think we've got time for some of those stories, because it's not just about the bottled water that we all associate the brand with, but as you say, you feed people, you've got health programs, you've got environmental programs. Tell us about some of those.
Yes, so from Aquila's side, we get a lot of requests for water. I think the access to clean drinking and safe water has become a daily challenge for many people. So we get a lot of requests, and we really deliver hundreds and thousands of bottles every year to such communities, to people. We partner with cultural events, schools, communities, and recently we saw a need for more longer term solution, more sustainable water solutions. So when we turned 25, we delivered 25 water tanks to 25 communities all over South Africa. And it was really heartwarming to see what a difference a tank can make. The first tank we put up was at a school in Groutville in KwaZulu-Natal. And the principal told us now they don't need to close their school anymore, because sometimes they had to close school early because they didn't have water. So it just showed us there's a need, and now it's become an ongoing product to place these water tanks. You mentioned the environmental as well. So very close to our hearts as well. We've got an anti-litter or cleanup campaign that we initiated in September 2021, and we join with municipalities, government departments, schools, communities. We've joined over 90 cleanups since we started, and there've been close to 10,000 volunteers, which is great to see. People joining and cleaning up the communities, and we assist them with gloves and T-shirts and obviously refreshment for the day.
All right, so for anybody who's watching us, by the way, on our live stream on YouTube, you'll be able to see on the wider shot from the cameras in our studio that you've come bearing gifts.
Yes.
You've got a bag of goodies here. There's produce. I'm seeing avos. I'm seeing peppers. There's also honey, I think.
Yes. So
tell me about how all of this came about.
On the mission station, farming is very, very core. They started off very small, a few fields of cabbages and madumbes, but it's really grown into a big farming initiative. They've got 14 hectares of greenhouses with peppers. They supply willies, Spar, Pick n Pay, and so on. And then also avocados, which is mainly for export. So we've brought you some of those to taste. There's a bakery on site with delicious cookies and goodies. Also the honey is also from the farm there.
Gosh, so in a sense, this is community projects that in a way are run by the very community you seek to help. And so there's that sense of empowerment, knowing that some of the freshest produce, and it really looks top drawer, comes from the very community.
Yeah, it's so special. We're based in a very rural area, and we have people coming that used to need to go to the cities to look for work. They can now stay at home, come in every day, work at the water plant, work at the farming, work on the farm, and in such a way one can also make a difference to the direct community.
I mean, just listening to you now, you've got such a wide range and variety of projects that you support. How do you decide which one is worth backing?
Our leader, we had a very special leader, Reverend Stegan. He had incredible vision. He started a lot of products and projects, and I think he has such vision. It was incredible. Like, everything started very small, but the Lord also blessed his work, blessed his faith, and a lot of these have grown into very successful brands and projects now.
So these are challenging times. Budgets are tight. People are struggling for all the reasons we know. How do you see businesses like yours, and I suppose what's your call to encourage others to be corporates that care and actually get involved in the communities? Because I think so often the temptation is to do things for communities rather than in and with communities.
Yes, I think that's it. It's a difference. So Aquila has been set up in such a way as that's really the core reason for existence, is to help people, and it just brings such joy. I think the more you give, the more joy you receive. So it's very rewarding as a company to go out there, make the small difference you can. Every small difference counts towards the bigger picture.
Perhaps a more trivial question. There's always a fight about how do you actually say Aquila?
Yes.
Right? So can you give us, I think I've been saying it right all morning.
Yes. Well, we say there's no wrong way of saying it. As long as you buy and drink Aquila, that's fine. We get all sorts. Aquila. Recently we had an Aquila lay, which was a bit of a new one. But
Where does the name come from?
It's from the aqua is Latin for water, and then quella is the German word for spring. So those two put together is Aquila. Yeah.
Spring water, or a water spring, a spring of water. That's absolutely fantastic. So for once and for all, settle it beyond any doubt, with no fear of contradiction, it is Aquila. All right, that's how I say it. I suppose as we wrap up this conversation, it's so important for me to note that as many times as I've had people in your seat speaking about wonderful work corporates are doing, the idea of collaboration, because no one entity can do it alone. That is key to how this kind of work really, really can stretch and go far, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. We work with communities, with municipalities, with other corporates all over South Africa. And I think, as you say, if we work together, the difference we can make is so much bigger.
All right, so your bag of goodies. I've seen the avos. I've mentioned the honey and the peppers. What else is there?
There's a yogurt, quite small scale local, but delicious yogurt. Yeah, there's pasta as well. There's a small, very.
And how do people? I mean, is there a brand name to this that people can look for?
The fresh produce is under Mseni Farming, the brand Mseni Farming. The pasta, the bakery, and that is more local, so small scale, so not sold all over South Africa. You have to come visit us.
Come to the mission.
Yes.
To get all of those goodies. Listen, I appreciate your time and for popping in and really demonstrating why Aquila is a corporate that cares.
Thank you, Bongani.
702 podcasts are on 702.co.za.
And now for the bad news. I'm going to be away for the next couple of weeks. Clement Manyathela is going to be on the hot seat. I am on study leave, but also my birthday holiday. So Clement Manyathela is going to be in the hot seat for the next couple of weeks. And I hope you are as good to him as you are good to me. And just to get a taste of what tomorrow will sound like, the Clement Manyathela Show starts now.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sishuwa Sishuwa. Parliament's Justice Committee says it's concerned about the delays in getting National Court Justice Madlanga was set to start hearings into alleged police corruption and political interference on Monday. But it announced yesterday that procurement delays mean